changing windows now. Hopefully people can now at least hear me. Hello. Yeah. I'm a little bit quiet. Why am I quiet? Is that better? The stream hasn't actually caught up yet. Why can't we hear you? What is going on? Can we hear you now?
I guess we've got to wait a second for your stream to catch up with everything.
My stream has only just moved on. Bloody blooming technical issues.
Oh, yep. You can hear me loud and clear, but you're still a little bit quiet.
Still quiet. Why am I still quiet?
Yep. You can hear me loud and clear, but you're still a little bit quiet.
Still quiet. Why am I still quiet? Alright, let's actually just pause that. Free watching.
Getting all the echo.
Yeah. What is going on with my input? Why am I quiet?
Is it recording your desktop audio, or is it just recording your Discord?
No, it's recording my microphone and it's recording my.
That's what I meant. Is it recording your microphone, or is it just recording Discord?
No, it shouldn't just be recording Discord. It should be recording my microphone. So I don't know why I'm. Ooh. Try turning everything up. Should already be up.
Okay, I'm just gonna deafen in Discord a minute and I'll listen for a second.
It's coming through on the actual stuff saying it's okay here. Let's try the old art of moving stuff closer.
Yep, you can hear me.
Try turning everything up. Right, that's at least sounded a little bit better for me, I think. Okay. Sorry about the slight technical faffing.
Important part of the streaming experience.
It is part of the streaming experience. Welcome to the stream, by the way, everyone. Welcome back to Archaeogaming Museum. I am your curator, Kenton, and again, I'm joined by Kyliroo Gaming.
Hello, everybody. How's it going?
For joining me again today. We're going to play a bit more RuneScape, maybe some other games. And just generally chat a little bit about stuff got planned for the very near future. And also apparently occasionally faff with my sound settings. That wasn't an intended part of the stream, but you know, got to roll with the flow. Actually make sure that that's going okay. Right, okay. Anyway, let's actually get on and do some stuff. Let's actually log on to RuneScape and hopefully have some nice background ambient noises as well, which hopefully won't actually be louder than me.
Archaeogaming.
Yeah, I changed my name to Archaeogaming. You know, just for a little bit of fun. You're actually in RuneScape, are you at the moment?
Me?
Yeah, are you in RuneScape or?
No, I'm not at the moment. I'm just chilling, watching your stream. I can join you in RuneScape if you like.
Well, might as well.
Okay.
If you want to, that is entirely up to you. So I've kind of called this my second test stream, just because, as you can tell, we're still working out a few technical issues, and also it's not really it's not really a stream for a particular purpose. It's more kind of just to get used to it, sort some things out, discuss some things, and just a way of, at the moment, having a bit of chill time in the evenings, whilst talking about some vaguely serious Archaeogaming stuff and some other stuff. So mainly on RuneScape today, mainly just do a few bits of preparation for Kyliroo's stream on Saturday, and going to talk a little bit about the video I plan on doing for examining the archaeology skill within RuneScape, to keep it vaguely Archaeogaming related a little bit as well.
Nice. Well, I am now logged in.
Groovy. Let's actually get stream stuff up. Wonderful. So, whereabouts are you?
That is a very good question.
I am by the bank, sort of between Bertha and Tatherley, in the new tutorial area.
Hang on, I'm just adjusting some settings here quickly. Okay, hopefully there won't be too much background noise. I'm just sort of trying to angle the microphone a little bit. I'm going to turn the input volume down a bit.
Groovy. Right.
I think that's better. Hopefully you can still hear me.
Yes, I can still hear you. Oh, well, I can hear you anyway. Hopefully the stream can also hear you. As well.
Okay, so again, I'm. I was just thinking that actually on your stream the music does sound a little bit on the loud side.
It's really low, actually, the music.
Okay.
Not entirely
it's just
sure.
me. Maybe it sounds like you.
I can turn it down a bit more.
No, hang on. I could be actually knocking everything up by... No, everything's turned up okay. Interesting.
That's quite far down. Spout is... Oh, I guess we can move it
Okay,
down.
that sounds a little bit better. You're coming through a little bit clearer over the music now. Maybe it's at my end. Maybe it's at my end. I don't know. How about everyone else on the stream? Can you hear us okay?
I've got another person, hopefully, going to respond to me in a moment, who's also watching. It's Mike, but yeah.
Right. So you asked me where I am.
Yeah, whereabouts are you in RuneScape at this moment? Anyone out there watching who plays RuneScape or used to play RuneScape? What?
I am in.
What were your experiences? If you don't play anymore, why not? Have you played it recently?
I'm near the Champions Guild at Varrock.
Oh, okay. So you're just on the outskirts of Varrock, just by that bank and bits and pieces. Yeah. That is groovy.
Oh, can you become a vampire?
Not last time I checked. There are vampires in the game, though.
Mauritania Vampire Lands.
Yeah, Mauritania is an area, to the east with.
Mike is saying that he can hear us both. Okay, so it must be something.
Wonderful.
Settings.
So so there's some stuff in there. There's also some werewolves and stuff.
Apparently that's members only, though.
It is, yeah. Actually, the archaeology skill is members only from 20 onwards. So again, if you wanted to ever experience the archaeology skill, you start that to the east of Varrock. I'm saving that for the video I'm doing. I'm going to do an introductory video next week sometime. Not entirely sure yet. Looking at the sort of achievement path for the early part of Novice Archaeology, an introduction to the skill, the tutorial, and the Archaeology Guild. So I'm going to do that as a video, and then I'll probably look at various of the dig sites in and around Kyliroo, possibly in streams or as videos. Haven't quite decided yet. Might do them as streams. That might be fun.
So where are you, Mr. Museum?
I am still in Birth Rope at the moment. I'm just kind of randomly running around, admiring this person with a very multicoloured halo.
Let's see what I can do. I've just been looking at the membership stuff for RuneScape, and actually,
it's not actually that bad. Sorry?
They do seem to have a bit more stuff behind paywalls than they did before.
There's actually, you can actually do more in non-members in non-member areas now. There's actually more to do as a free player, but they've also added equally as more for membership. So it's kind of skewed a little bit. But for example, some of the member only, a lot of the skills which were member only, you can do as a free player up to like level 20, mainly I guess to try and entice you to become a member. But there's also just more stuff you can do as a non-member now.
Right now,
they added some more non-member quests and things like that.
I'm now at the lodestone at Berthorpe.
Yeah, now at the lodestone, you just teleported in and you're just over here.
I didn't, did you? I think for the stream, where are you? Oh.
I'm right by the... Oh, what world are you on? What world are we on? I'm probably on a members only world, which probably doesn't help. So let's actually just change that. Let me world hop. Hop worlds. What world are you on? Do you know?
How do I check?
If you hit X, escape, and go to world hop, that's the easiest way I can think of. Are you on world 11?
Oh, Hop Worlds, there we are. I am on World 11, yes.
Wonderful, that did seem to be our preferred world for some reason before. That's one which we generally logged into. So let's hop into World 11. It might have actually told me on my friends list, actually, which world are you on.
It says in private chat that I logged in.
Yeah, no, I just didn't check your yeah.
Nice mustache.
Thank you, I changed my face. Ah, yes, there you are. Hello.
Howdy.
Hello,
am probably, like I've said before, that for the stream, when we actually stream this, probably this Saturday, I am going to recreate my character, probably. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to start fresh.
That is fair enough. I will probably still be on this character, mainly because I've got all the stuff for people.
Yep, you are looking pretty swick.
Thank you.
What's doing then?
What's doing? That's a good question. I kind of just came on today mainly just to check out what I've got for people and what we want to, and sort of talk about what you want to do on Saturday. I guess it's mainly get people through the tutorial bit.
Yeah, I think so. I'm going to start off on Tutorial Island, I think, for Saturday.
Yeah.
And then sort of progress from there, I reckon. I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to recreate my character. I'm probably going to, what am I probably going to do? I'm probably going to be a mage, I expect, or an archer, or something.
Okie dokie. I mean, yeah, that's fine. I mean, I think as you've seen, it's sort of best to kind of, to a certain extent, cross-class, because different monsters are weak against different things, so it's good to sort of vaguely level everything up a little bit. But yeah, obviously primarily mage is, again, it's less expensive than it used to be in RuneScape, because now you've got a lot more, you've got free-to-use spells that you never used to have before, back when we used to play anyway. So that's a nice new addition to the game compared to when we used to play. And I guess in order of actual expense, it really goes melee is obviously generally the cheapest because you have far fewer things that you actually need to. You have no sort of weapons don't break. Well, not all weapons break. There are some weapons that do degrade, but that's much further along the line.
Right. Okay.
And obviously then it goes range and then it goes mage. And mage and range armor are more difficult to craft generally from a starting point because, you know, the materials aren't quite as... Although they're sort of as available as ore, they're not necessarily as quick to obtain easily. If you want to make your own armor, but we can work on that, certainly.
I mean, that's one of the reasons why we're talking about creating our own guild or group, isn't it? So that we can sort of work together to...
oh, absolutely,
do that.
Yeah, we are going to create a guild. I'll be doing that on... or clan. On Saturday. That's going to be one of my main jobs, I think. Can do a walkthrough of that. And then, you know, take over the world. Or something.
Sounds good to me.
You know, first step on the road to world domination.
You got to start somewhere. Everyone's got to start somewhere.
Absolutely.
Right. Well, yes. Let's have a look and see what quests I've got available to me, I suppose.
Yeah, there's still a few quests you can do around here. I would say, is there much point in doing any more on that cat? Oh, I guess it's something to do for this evening and can test out some quests.
This evening, and I need a big refresher about generally how stuff works.
And doing quests is quite a good way to do that. I mean, in Lumbridge, quite a good one to do is the Restless Ghost.
How do I find quests again? You see,
quests is the on the bars at the bottom. It's the one. I can never quite figure out what the image is supposed to be, but it's the one above the compass.
It's a bar chart.
Yours is the bar chart. Okay, what's next over from the bar chart? Because above my compass is a symbol with sort of a blue star in the middle. That's the quest log.
Oh, okay. So I have to highlight the compass and then go above that, and it gives me the quest list. And it's also above the butterfly. I don't know. Okay. So the ones that I've got available to me in Berthorpe are Druidic Ritual and Death Plateau.
You've done both of those because they're in green. We did those.
Oh, okay. Fine. Okay,
so
Lumbridge then.
Reds.
Okay. Yeah. Red ones are ones I haven't done.
Red ones are ones you haven't done. Green ones are ones you have.
Okay then.
Which ones have you got available in Lumbridge?
Cook's Assistant and Restless Ghost.
I'm about to say Cook Assistance is quite an easy one. That's basically you go and talk to the cook in Lumbridge Castle. He asks you to gather some ingredients from around the surrounding Lumbridge area to make a birthday cake for the Duke's birthday. Restless Ghost I haven't done yet, actually. I don't know why I haven't done that one yet, but I guess I've been saving to do some of it for the stream. Some of these quests that we can do together. That's always a good thing. Restless Ghost is quite a good one as well. It involves, well, speaking to some ghosts.
Okay. Which one do you want to do then?
I'm about to say, well, I've done Cook's Assistant, I've done Restless Ghost. So shall we go back to Lumbridge? You can do Cook's Assistant, and I can give some pointers whilst also do some bank sorting that I want to do there.
Why can't I get rid of this Mask of Jagex and then? Why is it still appearing in the top right-hand corner, top left-hand corner for me?
For the achievement how would you get rid of achievements? Yeah. So if you go down to achievement paths.
Where's achievement paths? Sorry.
It's the little arrow, double arrow.
Oh, yeah. Gotcha.
It's for me. It's next to the ball and between the compass, or yak. Sorry, between the yak and the compass. There should be a way to clear it on there.
Oh, I can click clear path. I don't know what that does.
Try that. because you've completed that now, so that should... Did that get rid of it?
Yes.
Wonderful.
Okay, right. So I've got cook's assistant. Right. So now we need to go to
Lumbridge.
right?
Yeah. Off to Lumbridge. Again, some sort of other plans I have for stuff to do with RuneScape for my channel, let's say your stream, is also to investigate looking at some of the houses, such as some of these lovely Tudoresque style part brick built, part timber built houses in Lumbridge. Look at sort of their historical inspirations and so forth. Look at some of the ruins within RuneScape and explore some of its lore, but as an archaeologist rather than as a RuneScape lore master, which I'm not. And again, look at some of the mythology and some of the quest ideas and the inspiration that takes from real life. Those sorts of things. But starting off, as I say, with a video next week looking at the tutorial for the archaeology skill itself.
Nice. Well, as somebody who isn't a member, I'd definitely be interested in looking into that. Okay, so why haven't I got any markers on my map for my active quest?
You've definitely set it to be tracked?
Yes.
Because it should just be an arrow pointing to you, but the start of Cook's Assistant is in the castle, in the kitchen. So whereabouts? You're there. So if you just want to follow me, here I am.
Oh, yeah.
For the man with the staff of whitey stuff. And let's go in here. And you want to talk to this cook.
Yeah. Talk to cook. Hey, cook.
And that will give you the quest. Has my... Oh no, my webcam hasn't frozen. I am just being... I'm doing a Jess and just being really still for a time.
Yeah. Okay, alright. Accept quest.
As I posted on the Facebook earlier, on the Facebook page, there's nothing that I like better than archaeology and beer. And games, of course. It is a good combination. Everyone knows that archaeology is done best when under the influence of some kind of beer. Or general or alcoholic beverage.
I've got things marked on my map now. I've got goblins, cows, chickens.
Yeah, so you can kill the goblin. I've forgotten why you don't actually need to kill the goblins. It's an option. It's another option. So the most important thing first is probably to go up and get the. You can get the egg, I think, from up here, and so in the north by the mill. Oh, my RuneScape's been a bit laggy. Just keeping an eye on it. It's working okay for me, but being a bit laggy on stream, so...
A little bit laggy on stream.
Let's actually just close down that, and hopefully that makes it slightly better. It's probably because also I've got my own stream playing, which probably doesn't help. So let's actually just exit that. So if you come up towards the mill to the north of Lumbridge, you can get the giant egg from the chickens. Yeah, okay, you know where you're going. Where are you?
This quest. Okay, this quest area has been marked. Okay. So why is it not showing in the top top left hand corner anymore?
You may just have to... Well, I can certainly show you where you're going for this one.
Okay, just a second. Okay. I don't know what's happening there, but fine. Okay, all right. So I need to go. I need to stop trying to use the mouse to drag.
Yeah, that won't work.
I know. I wish it would. I don't want to talk to whoever this is. Discount.
No. So you want to come out of the castle.
The conversation with.
And we want to go to the north this way, not across the bridge. Although we will need to go that. We will need to do that to get the milk. But we want to go up past the marketplace and the chest bank. And we want to go up to, first of all, to these chickens.
And I need eggs, do I?
You need an extra large egg, and there's one on the floor here, which currently also has the little chef's hat next to it for cook's assistant.
I accidentally killed a goblin because there are definitely some things that they can do to improve the controls in this game. It's the only slight gripe I have. Super large egg.
Yeah, that's the one. That's one you want. You want a super large egg.
Okay. Can we?
And then you want to come and talk to the miller. Well, actually, first of all, you want to go and get some wheat from the wheat field.
As you do.
Over here. And then you want to go to the miller and say that you want to make extra fine flour. They'll change some cogs around in the windmill. And then you'll be able to grind some flour. You'll want the pot on the table as well on the bottom floor of the mill.
I can't carry any things, apparently.
Have you got a full inventory?
Apparently I have a full inventory.
Oh dear.
Should have. Oh, hello, Jess.
Hello.
You just snuck in.
Yeah, apparently.
Sneak in.
Yes, indeed.
I'm gonna eat some rabbit.
You hobbit, you with your sneaking.
I am.
Or your golem.
A hobbit. I got big feet.
How are you today? Welcome to the stream, Nelson.
Hello. Thank you very much.
Why is there a balloon floating around? I'm very confused.
It's a thing. Don't worry about it.
Much quieter than that.
Sorry?
Oh, Kyliroo is quiet for my audio thing in the lobbies.
I had to adjust my volume so that I wasn't much louder than Coffee Break or Mr. Museum.
Mr. Museum. You can just call me Kenton. I did it. People know my name. You don't have to just refer to me as Mr. Museum. Although I do like the idea of Mr. Museum. Sounds like a cool superhero.
Mr. Museum, I like
Mr.
it.
Museum.
This week in RuneScape.
Michael asks, big feet. Are you proud of the feet though? He's doing subtle Lord of the Rings humour. Have you managed to obtain Kyliroo?
I'm not sure about feet, but I'm proud of my foot.
Ha ha ha, very subtle humour again.
I've got wheat. How many wheats do I need?
You just need for one bit of wheat. You also need space for a pot. If you want me to
that should be in reverse, but hell, never mind.
If you want me to act as extra storage for you, I'm happy to take that on board.
I do have space.
So you want
I don't know.
You want to talk to Millie the Miller and ask her to say that you want to make some extra fine flour. Or that you need flour for the Duke's birthday, or I can't remember exactly what you have to say to her, but if you vaguely mention the quest, there's prompts. Or just choose all the dialogue options if in doubt.
I've prompted, it's okay.
So now you...
Yeah. From fields. Okay, I've got wheat.
So you need the pot as well. Unless you have a bucket or something similar in your inventory.
Just take the wheat up 2 levels for... I remember doing this for a previous quest. Sure
yeah, we had to make some grain for
lots of people with a desire for wheat.
No, we had to do that in Burthorpe for
let them eat cake.
Yeah, let them eat pie.
Oh, let them eat pie. That was
when we made that really freaking gross pie to poison the guy.
Right, so how do I get upstairs?
So you just climb up the ladder. You need to climb up it twice.
Just realised that we've got Certib listening in the stream. Go up the ladder.
Yeah, He's also
Alright.
on YouTube. I've actually made both you and Sir Tib mods on the YouTube chat.
Kinky biscuits.
Ah.
So what do I have to do? I've got to put it in the hopper.
Put it in the hopper, then operate the levers in the corner. And then come down, and you should see, come down again, and there should be a flower in the at the bottom for you in the collector at the bottom, where it all comes shooting out. Get it? Because it comes down in a chute. It will come shooting
I've got flour in a pot.
out.
I've got 2 pots. Why have I got 2 pots?
Because you're potty. Sorry.
We're
So you've got
all
eggs,
potty, yeah.
pots. Now the only other thing you need is milk, and you need milk from a very particular cow.
Oh,
Because
cow?
yeah, from a special cow.
I'm confused as to why the goblins were highlighted.
I think because they're an option to get the egg for some weird reason, but you don't actually need to. You don't need the goblins.
Goblin egg instead of a chicken egg.
Yeah, well, they have a chance to drop the, or it drops near the, or you can obtain one from near them because it's near the
wait, so
goblins
did my
and the
blog
chickens.
come from an egg?
So,
Raised him from an egg. Oh,
where the heck am I going? I've got my,
Oh, interesting that you know the way.
I've got my.
I have no
Where's
idea
the
where.
arrow that's flashing.
It's because I have my. It's because I have my start. I had my compass pointing the wrong way, so I was going in all wrong directions.
Worried about the giant spiders.
I shouldn't worry too much about giant spiders. So we need
This
to
is
go.
taking me to a field of
No, you don't want to go that way. You want to go out of the castle again because that's Lumbridge Castle, and we want to go.
Quest marker icon to go that way, and I don't know why.
We want to go to a bridge over here.
Path to objective. Why is that an objective? What is that?
What are you up to on the RuneScapes currently?
I don't have no. We're just doing some quests. You can pop on if you like.
I'm just finishing up the sustenance.
Just finishing up. Sustenance is important. Are you in Lumbridge Swamp?
I'm
walking towards Lumbridge Swamp. I don't know why there's a quest mark. Path objective, it says over there.
Yeah, you don't want to go that way. You want to come back to Lumbridge.
I am on my way back to Lumbridge. It's just, it really wants me to go that way. There's a line and everything. And
I think it might just be trying to take you an obscure route round. You know, it's very sat-navy.
Alright, I'm under some stairs right now. I'm standing by a fountain.
So you want to come to the bridge on the outskirts of Lumbridge. So right by the lodestone, by the Lumbridge guardsman and the Lumbridge sage. You want to come out that way.
I'm on the way. I'm by the markets at the moment.
Oh, okay, groovy.
Oh, I see you.
There's me. Here I am. These guards are taking. They never used to have these guards here killing the goblins. There actually never used to really be any Lumbridge guards. There used to be some guard by the gate there into the desert, and there used to be maybe a couple in the castle. So you want to milk?
Oh, I just leveled up by killing a goblin.
Oh, awesome!
Where have you gone now?
I'm up by the cow field.
Oh, I see you. Okay.
And we want to milk. Which one is it? I mean, if you just talk to Gilly Groats, she's kind of gruff. Oh yeah, milk for prize dairy cow. That's who you want to milk by. There's a bucket right next to it if you need a bucket. So it's this cow over here.
Hang on, I'm just going to get out this. Right. Go away, Millie.
Milk this prize cow here.
Take bucket.
And then you just want to go back and talk to the cook, and that's actually that quest completed. Woohoo!
Prize dairy cow.
You milk a prized cow. See the crazy stuff you do to become, you know, the dominate the world. You start off by milking a prize cow. That's the first step of world domination, guys and gals.
It is indeed.
Why can we talk to this rough stone block? What will that do? I haven't done that yet. What's this do? You must be on a member world to build the god statues. Okay, so it's a member object. That's fine. just randomly talking to stones. I mean, I'm an archaeologist. I do that a lot. I just didn't necessarily expect it to be, necessarily
In the game.
in the game. So,
But now you can do your archaeological things without having to
I
pay
can.
for the thing.
So, yeah, now you just want to go back and talk to the cook.
You talk to that cook.
You've got all the stuff you need for the cake, I think, if I remember correctly. I mean, it should actually show me.
Second.
See, you bring all the ingredients for the cake, but you're not allowed to go to the party. I think that's very rude.
Sorry about that, I was just offering some help to Giggle's friend. Right, where the heck's the castle?
So are you still by the cow?
No, I've moved away from the cow. I crossed a bridge. That's the castle, okay. So I need to go that way-ish. So I need to go...
What have I got equipped it? Why am
That looks
Oh,
like a
because
castle.
it's a members-only stuff.
It's a poopy.
No, it's just equip my... Let's equip my scimitars then, and let's kill some spiders whilst I'm...
Right, I'm coming.
Let's kill some spiders, kill some goblins, kill all the things.
Hello, Mr. Cook. Talk to Cook.
So currently got two viewers at the moment and 2 likes. Wonderful. We had four viewers at one point.
Large egg. There we are. I've handed all of the things to...
I handed all the things to the peeps. Wonderful. There you go,
Yeah,
and you completed the quest.
Nice. Yeah.
Oh, no, it's not.
I've leveled up the cooking, even though I didn't do any cooking.
Well, you did proprietary stuff to cook in. I think that counts.
Got some sardines.
We if you want, you can give those to me, and I can add those to the food stack I've got in the bank. Actually, well, no, you shouldn't need it for Restless Ghost because only go up against a level 7 enemy.
Do we want to do the Restless Ghost, or do you want to save that for a particular stream? I still want to know why it's taking me into the swamp. I'm going to follow this thing.
Have you got another achievement path set somehow? Have you got something else that's tracking?
There's nothing else on my tracking thing. There's a really big rat over there.
You might just want to, I don't know, clear the path again and see what that does. If you go too far that way, well, there's nothing majorly dangerous that way. Just, be careful. You know what they say about swamps. I'm sure they say something about swamps.
I was about to say, what?
What's the nexus?
Don't go into that.
Okay, yeah. I cleared my list again, and it seems to be working.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was just it being a bit weird. I'm just stealing some cakes.
Stealing some cakes?
Yeah, from the baker's school.
Cake is...
There's a level 2 woman here.
A level 2 woman!
Level 2 woman. Nice.
It says.
Oh, there are some random people cooking some stuff, and they kind of look like they look like, I don't know.
People cooking some stuff?
The same person, just with different coloured hair, but there's 2 of them at the same time. Actually, one of them is female, one of them's male. I didn't see the beard.
I'm in the marketplace now.
Could still be a lady with a beard, No judgment
Bearded
here.
dwarf ladies.
Bearded dwarf ladies. Or non-dwarf ladies. We don't judge here. It's not for us to do. They do appear, though, to be lighting fires right in the entrance to the marketplace, which does seem a little bit like the market stall holders might get a little bit annoyed. They didn't seem to be particularly annoyed at us stealing stuff from their cake stall, so maybe they don't care about fires in the gate. I do think that's maybe a health and safety risk. I wonder if hope they filled out the right health and safety risk assessment for that.
Well, there we are. Do you know who we can report them to in RuneScape?
I don't know, the guards. They probably won't understand or care. They're like guards in most games. Like they're like the guards in Skyrim for the most part. Although, if you accidentally pick a flower or kick a chicken, they won't mercilessly chase you across half the map.
It's like, I am the saviour of Skyrim. I don't care. That flower, illegal. Die.
Skyrim will murder you.
Yeah.
Did you touch the chicken? You deserve to go to...
Yeah, you go to prison now. It's like, dude, I just saved you from a dragon. What are your priorities?
And I touched the chicken by accident while saving you from a dragon.
You didn't care when I put a bucket on your head and stole a load of stuff earlier. I mean, what?
Yeah, what?
I didn't say that. You can't prove anything.
You saw nothing.
Quite literally, because you had a bucket. I mean, I didn't know you had a bucket on your head. Why do you have a bucket on your head?
No. It's a new style.
It's very stylish, yeah. You're a trendsetter, my
Practical.
friend. You are a trendsetter.
Damn
Set
right.
a trendsetter of some kind.
Set that trend, the trend will be set.
Just realised we're talking about absolute rubbish. But, you know. Literally, in archaeology, we only talk about rubbish because that is what's left behind, for the most part.
Yeah.
We are just historic garbage collectors or rubbish men.
I'm about to say, like, rubbish collectors.
Yeah.
But if it's rubbish that's, like, younger than X date, we genuinely don't care.
Well, I can't really say that because I literally look at the archaeology of video games.
Yeah, to be fair.
Sorry about that. Just had to sneeze quite violently.
Oh, are you okay?
Which actually, here is a interesting thing we can discuss actually, and is very important from an archaeological perspective. What is a video game?
Oh,
How do we define video games? Because, you know, some people say, a game which is essentially a walking simulator is not a video game. So what does a video game need to have? What are its components?
What are its essential qualities that make up the form of video games?
As opposed to, say, a walking simulator. So this is what we'd call a typology. We're looking at typologies in order to differentiate between different things.
Yep, the form of the video game.
So, what does a video game need to have, guys?
Studying Plato, damn it, not to use this.
Yeah, we'll bring in some Plato. You know, he invented the plate or something. There's a reference there for someone. Who can tell me where that's a reference from? No one actually on this call, on the stream at the moment, because we probably all know where that comes from, I hope.
Not off the top of my head, I'm ashamed to say.
Smoke me a kipper.
Oh, no.
There you go, there's a hint.
Trivia.
There's a hint.
I got it now.
You got it now. So there we go. There you go. No one's actually answered my question yet. What does a video game need to have?
Well... What?
Don't give the game away.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought...
So what does what for you, Nelson? What does a video game need to have? What are
well, for it to be electronic somehow.
For it to be electronic somehow, okay. Mm-hmm. But you know, you can have electronic games which aren't video games.
You can, but that's like we're building up.
We're building blocks, yeah. Okay.
We're building upwards. That's that basic electronic somehow.
So starting at the base, you know, all video games are definitely electronic. I think we can definitely all agree on that. Yeah.
Okay, so that's a fundamental we can agree on.
In some way or another.
Oh, sorry, it needs to be what somehow?
Interactive in some way or another.
Okay, so electronic and interactive.
Because I guess you have to physically do something with it. Personally, although I was actually, you say that there's actually a game I'm looking at on Steam. Let me actually find it. which is on my current list to buy. Again, it will be one which I'll be doing on the stream at some point because I think it's a really cool concept. It is called The Longing, as in to long for something, to desire it.
Desire something.
Yeah, so the brief sort of Steam description is an unusual mix of adventure and indie game. I was like, they're not... Okay. Indie is not really in the same classification as like action adventure and stuff like that. Indie is just it has sort of turned into a style of game in and of itself, but
yeah, it used to, just
an independently developed game. And not part of sort of, it's not a AAA game or anything like that, or major development
game with zombies in it.
Yes, exactly. But anyway, so an unusual mix of adventure and indie game in utter loneliness deep below the surface. It's your task to wait for awakening of your king for 400 days. Now, it does actually specify in the description of this game is that you can just start the game and it counts time outside of the game from when you started it.
Oh.
So you can just start it one day, leave it 400 days, come back on, and the game would have completed itself. Is that then... I guess it's still a game because you're still required to actually start it. But it's a very...
Well,
It's a very minimal game.
Yeah, I mean, if it counts, it's like only just.
So that's interesting. Would something like that, for you, say, Kyliroo, because you sort of brought up that point, would that count as a game?
Well, I mean, I think if you're engaging with it in some way on some level, even if you're just observing what's happening, then it would still count as being interacting.
So
what? Actually, interesting on that. My friend was kind enough to let me have a go on their VR, and they knew I liked mountains and views and things. So they literally just loaded up. I think it was called a game, but it was just exploring different environments from VR. And I really like I was interacting with it, and obviously I was really enjoying myself. But the only thing I was doing was looking around, like with that.
Okay, so maybe we should. So how are we defining, I guess, for the purpose of this interaction?
Yes, that's.
So I guess that's the next level of definition. In order to create the definition that we're going to create on this stream for a video game. We can change the definition at any time, but, let's see what we can come up with. Any people who are watching, any people in the chat, what do you think? Let us know your opinions. What are the components or the constituent parts you need for a video game? Because before we can sort of look at games as archaeologists, we need to understand what they are. We need to have a working definition for what and what isn't a game. Now, I'd say, I described in my review of Carbon 14, which is the archaeology dating simulator, as an interactive story with game elements, mainly because your interaction to a certain extent between, apart from choosing dialogue and dialogue options, is very limited. You have some mini games that you play, but the main way you interact is through different dialogue options, which then opens up different pathways and different events you can go down.
The thing is, just excuse me, just talking in character can be something I derive a lot of enjoyment from.
No, absolutely. I mean, I'm not saying it wasn't enjoyable, and I'm not saying that interactive story can't be enjoyable.
Does it count as a
game? But
does it?
I mean, to what point do those kind of things, like interactive digital stories, what do they? How much do they need to have before they classify as a game? Now, C14 do have some mini games in it. They've got basically they teach archaeology through only what I can describe as an archaeology stratigraphy Sudoku puzzle. That's basically what they do. Here you go. Siturb has, or Michael's put in the chat, a game probably needs a goal or goals. Are there goals in open world games? Well, to explore the open world. I guess that's the main goal of an open world game, is to see what there is. Explore all that there is, even if it's essentially potentially an
Well, I
infinite
suppose
space.
there might not be, or does the goal of the game have to be like defined by the maker?
Can it be
'Cause
defined by the user?
Yeah, like sandbox games, like say with Minecraft. Say if you ignore the villages and the dragon, you're effectively just okay. You have to survive the night. That's the thing. But you know, you can craft and do affect. You know, with the world, whatever you desire.
But
So,
I mean,
like,
I guess from a game point of view, though, the game itself does have a purpose and it does have a story. It didn't always have a story. The story was tagged on later when it first
if you
came out.
stripped like and just had the world which you could manipulate.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I guess to begin with, the Minecraft was a very it was sort of like an abstract world builder and physics engine to a certain extent, although not really much physics. I guess, yeah, more of a crafting simulator to begin with, before the extra bits. We could say.
Excuse me.
Yeah, I mean, that is an interesting point. Do they need to have a goal? Do they need to have a goal?
And if they do, does it have to be like who gets to define the goal?
Yeah, is it the user or is it the developer? That is also
some combination thereon.
That is a good point.
What? So why? How come I can just stand here stealing vegetables from the stall over and over again to upgrade my sneak? Is that
thieving skill?
But I mean, there are guards around. Why aren't they stopping me?
They will do on occasion. You know. I mean, that guard. I mean, where is the guard? Can't you? That's just a man.
I'm gonna eat cabbage.
I mean,
that cabbage.
Yeah, but if you can just do that, I mean, the guards are pretty dumb in RuneScape, and also I mean, if you're doing it right in front of these two stools, don't really appear to have an owner, so you can just kind of. But if you're near an owner, for example, if you were to try and steal from the merchant here near the crafting store, which I believe is that a members only? Is that a members only one? Yeah. Oh no, it isn't. Yeah. So they will say, "Hey, you get your hands out of there," for example.
I'm really excited to level up my thieving so I can steal from the bakery store, because stealing a loaf of bread seems much better than stealing some vegetables. Or
there you go. Now you're being attacked by a guard. Are you happy?
Hey, bud. Don't.
So yeah, okay, that's interesting. So yeah, the ideal of a goal. Does a game have to have a goal? That is a good one.
Okay, this guy is just auto-blocking all of my shots. It's not fair.
It's because his weakness is against magic, specifically air magic. So you can hit him. You might want to try some of your special attacks with the bow. They're likely to have a better effect. There you go.
There we are. Now he's taking some damage.
So we've established that games need to be in some way electronic.
They have to be interactive.
A video game has to be electronic.
Yes, yeah.
It's a video game, not game. Yeah. So interactive.
I was letting people derive the context from that, since that's what we're talking about. Yeah, has to be electronic. Has to be
some
interactive.
Kind of goal,
and
but
potentially some kind of goal.
Up to debate. Or
and I guess it's being a video game has to have some kind of visual component.
Yes.
Can be just text.
But what if you have, because it's like a game that's all audio and it describes like.
Is that then a game? How are you interacting with it? How are you impacting on the world?
Say voice commands.
Okay,
and then it describes what it then does.
You could have that, I guess. Is that a game? That's what people describe. Is that a video game? Is that then a video game?
Oh, okay, yeah.
So we're specifically talking about video games here. So
no, I went on a mental tangent.
It's a text-based game that you play on a computer using video equipment to interact with it. Considered a video game? I would say so.
I would say so. It's yeah. Mike said it's a game, not a video game. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean,
yes. No, I'd agree. Tangent.
Tangent. No, I'd say text-based games such as the original adventure game.
Actually, one game I remember playing with my brother, which was a completely, though again I probably would call it a game, not a video game, or right off the bat. The word I went to it was called Choice of Robots, and it was basically a text-based, like you read, you make a decision, it then goes to the bit where it would lead on from that decision, and then you craft a story. It was like making a story around your own decisions, but it was entirely text-based.
Yeah, there was a cult classic back in like the 70s, which was Zork, which was a text-based adventure game. And sorry, Siturb just said Run Zombie Run is an example of not video, a purely audio. What a game was that? That's interesting. I haven't heard of that one. I'll have to check that out.
I'm looking that up. Run Zombie Run.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, Zork was initially a text-based game. That was released for the DCP-DP-10 mainframe. Back in 1977.
So when you're ready, or when we can go do some questing together.
Oh yes,
yes. If you want to pop onto RuneScape, we can chat and do stuff, and we can continue to talk. I think this is a really interesting discussion, actually. Sort of looking.
I'm actually really enjoying this.
This is kind of what the stream is for. So this is kind of an intent. We may actually get some. I may make this a genuine video and get some more people involved actually at some point and have a proper debate. But it doesn't mean that we can't. We can't continue to have this discussion now.
Do a YouTube-based podcast.
Yeah, Adventure and Angband, yeah, absolutely, yeah, were earlier versions on the Zork. And of course, Adventure did become a graphic-based game or derivatives of Adventure.
I will be on soonish. I'm nearly there. So consuming of the service
also became an interactive. It became a visual, a more visual game. And obviously Zork was very heavily mentioned in The Big Bang Theory, for example.
I would consider that even a text-based adventure game, if you're using it through an electronic medium, it's still video enough to be considered a video.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're using video as the main visual component for the game, aren't you? So yeah. I would definitely class that as a video game. I think you're right. So now we are kind of narrowing down a few things. So, you know, it has to have some form of visual component, even if it's text.
And electronically generated.
And electronic, yes, it has to be electronically generated. It has to have a visual component, and potentially a goal, whether that's user defined or developer defined.
From what I can gather so far, an electronically generated visual component which you interact with,
and potentially have either user or developer set goals.
Have goals for it.
Yeah.
That sounds fairly reasonable to me.
Yeah.
But again, you have things like these walking simulators. Are they games? To what extent does it need?
Or it doesn't feel like
it's
a game
mainly,
off
I think,
what
we're coming down to now is the interactive component is the main hang-up, I think. I think everything else is quite clear. It's what level of interaction do you need to have?
I think the thing is walking simulator is a derogative way to describe a game that involves a lot of manual travelling generally to get somewhere. It doesn't necessarily describe a game that you just walk about in. People describe Skyrim, for example, as a walking simulator, or Death Stranding as a walking simulator.
Yeah, I think they're more commonly now.
Because something I was about to say is
walking simulator is now used as an official game in hashtag though, and as sort of a game in genre on things like Steam.
But yeah, because me and my brother, when we were playing Red Dead Redemption 2, we pretty much never used fast travel. So almost like a good third of the game would have been traveling, and I mean just pure traveling.
Yeah. Yeah, but it still has sort of other components. I mean,
it does.
I mean, for example, well, I mean, there is literally a game called Walking
particularly
Simulator.
In the mountains, though, I really enjoy. Like, genuinely, if there was a game of just walking around the mountain landscapes, akin to how they were like in Red Dead 2, I'd genuinely buy it and to just travel around and listen to music. Like, I would deem that fun.
But I mean, Firewatch, for example, was certainly referred to as a walk-in simulator.
But again, Firewatch has an established plot, though.
I mean, you can have a plot, but it's how are you interacting with the plot, though? I guess is the extent in which people are talking about what level of interaction. I think is what people sort of were having issues with. When I say issues with some of the games, but people, just because it's a walking simulator doesn't mean it's not a good experience. Doesn't mean it's not a fun game. But some people said, you know, technically things like Firewatch, other walking simulators, did not classify as games as such, because of basically what we're talking about is what level of interaction do you have to have with a game for it to become what direct. I mean,
but I guess the thing is that I would consider interacting with stuff that's happening, even if it just makes you think or react to things sort of like in a emotional or intellectual level. I would still say that would be enough of an interaction to be considered a game.
But again, so, you know, that's not too far off. Basically, just a movie then.
Well, yeah, quite a lot. You could. This is where, you know, the lines get blurred between games and interactive stories. I wouldn't necessarily say that the two. I would say that, or interactive film. Sorry, I would say that probably an interactive film is a type of video game.
But this is what we need to try and decide. Is, you know, where is that line? Because, you know, because I mean, basically, Firewatch is almost very similar to, as I was talking with C14. It was it's an interactive story where you choose different dialogue options. That's most of what Firewatch is about.
No, Firewatch, you explore, you gather information, you visit different sites, you interact with different people. I mean, yes. That's what I'm saying.
The main part is just interacting with people and talking and just walking around a landscape or walking in one well, not necessarily one direction, but.
Do you want to know what the Google definition of a video game is?
I have looked it up, and this is interesting because there are many definitions out there. If you wanted to read it out, though.
The Oxford Languages definition is a game played by electronically manipulating images produced by a computer program on a monitor or other display.
Yeah, okay, so now what we have to decide is at what point, you know, defining the exact manipulation, you know, to what, because that's basically the manipulation becomes your interactive component. It becomes what level are you interacting with the game. So that's still the major point that I think a lot of people disagree on, and then say it is a very it is a fine line.
So even with text-based games, you have the images that you're manipulating are the text on the screen.
No one's necessarily saying that Zork or things like that aren't necessarily video games.
No, I'm not disputing.
No. So I'm saying none of us here are saying that. What we're saying is what level of interaction. Interaction is not just about your physical, necessarily your physical motion. What's actual interactional impact are you actually having on what is happening?
But why does a variance affect whether or not it's a game?
I don't quite understand what you mean.
So why would you have one product? Let's take for example Skyrim. Where obviously you interact a lot with different images and things, because basically an image is everything you interact with, and then why would you have something? So I guess the point is, you talk about to what level does someone do you need to interact with it? You know, to what level of interaction do you need to have for it to be considered a game? Why does the level of interaction matter? Does that make sense?
Well, because otherwise it's just, if you're not interacting, it's just a interactive story or a movie, if you're not actually physically interacting with it. So if you're not actually involved or engaged physically, it's not really a game. It is a story.
An interactive story or an interactive movie doesn't count as a video game.
Well, this is the question that we're trying to ask. This is a broad spectrum debate. Some people will say no, it doesn't, because they are in themselves interactive stories or interactive.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess the thing is, I'm trying to work out why those people don't consider it to be an interactive story. I mean, do people that think that sort of say that have a base level of expectation of interaction that they need to have with it?
Okay,
is what I'm
maybe there are also.
Where would it sort of be cut off? I guess.
What is understanding the fine line, and also we can also bring in some of the other criteria you had, which was goals. What goals are there? Either player defined or potentially developed. If we move the player definition for it for a moment to try and sort of create a clear picture, if we have a developer designed goal, what is the ultimate end result of a game?
But I mean, does a game need to have a goal to be considered a game?
That's a question. Does it?
I don't think so.
If it doesn't, board games ultimately have goals and things to achieve. Card games have things you need to you need. So when you apply this to other types of games in other medium, they all have goals. So why would video games not have a goal?
Beam and G Drive, as an example, it is a sandbox car accident simulator. Basically, there's no story. There's no nothing. All you do is you log it, you activate the game and you interact with physics objects to get it to do stuff. But there's no story, there's no goal. I mean, is that not a game?
I suppose the goal of the experience of that game potentially would be to interact with the physical things that are being generated.
But couldn't the goal of a game just to have an enjoyable experience, even if there isn't actually a goal within the game itself?
Well, that's the question. That's what people, that's what we're
thinking about.
That's what we're thinking about. That is what people debate. That is part of the big debate about trying to define what a video game is. And people say yes and no.
Understanding why they say yes or no is the thing.
Because there are simulators that probably most of us probably wouldn't necessarily consider a game, but are still interactive and still have a story, or still have a purpose, such as teaching simulators. Simulators that are used, simulators which are used to generate, for example, museum experiences. Those are not games. They are interactive experiences.
So but you see, the thing is, I would consider an interactive experience to be a type of video game, in the same way that an interactive novel or an interactive movie are types of video games.
I don't think they are, really. I don't think you can have that broader definition, because then basically everything is everything.
Yes, this is the thing. Is video game is the overall thing that all of these other categories fit in.
No, because I mean these things. A lot of these things have existed before video games.
So, Certive suggested, is it linear?
I mean, games don't have to be linear.
It existed beforehand doesn't mean it doesn't mean it can't fall into a category.
There's quite a few games don't take linear paths. You have to go back and do other things and work out things to continue.
Yeah. No, I mean, I would say that what you're describing are just different types of video game. The description of video.
I mean, they're not from a technical point of view, or how people tend to define them. I mean, you can't just say that all visual experiences, interactive visual experiences, are video games. Because you have visual interactive movies and visual active stories which aren't video games, and are not defined as video games for the majority of the people. Or how most people define them. So this is what we've got to look at. How far? Where are the lines? Where are the boundaries?
Yeah, but I mean, the thing, it just doesn't seem like lots of people have said this doesn't count as that, or this doesn't count as the other, but haven't been able to give sort of any clear reasons why.
Well, they have, because it is Because for starters, that's not how some of these aren't designed to be video games. And an interactive film is not designed to be a video game. It's designed to be a film, and you the way that you process those different types of media are different, and the way and the sort of purpose behind them are slightly different, and how people go about enjoying them and using them are different. So you've got the user experience as well.
Have interaction, is what Sertib said. But I mean, I think the thing is something can be something even if it wasn't designed to be such.
Well, ultimately, it's down to the creator if it is a game or not.
But surely it's down to how most people would define it, isn't it?
Well, no, because it's down to the designed intention.
Right.
I would say.
I just killed a spider and he gave me some bread dough. I don't know what a spider was doing with bread dough.
Stole it.
Is spider silk useful?
It's useful for crafting mage armor. You can make spider silk robes.
Cut down the tree. Cut down the spider. Linear story is not much of a game, even if you have interaction.
You read that out.
I mean, yeah. I was just thinking over it and thinking about a way to respond to it. I mean, I think. Okay, here's an interesting thing. Would you define a side-scrolling game, which is very linear, obviously, because generally you only go in one direction and you interact with directly what's in front of you, and you're literally railroaded on the path to the story? I mean, is that still a game, or would you consider that to be sort of like? Well,
it entirely depends on the side-scrolling game. So, for example, the original of Sonic and Mario games are.
Have you played Far Lone Sails?
I've seen Mike play it. Mike has played it.
So, I mean, would you consider that to be... Because that's literally... It's one direction. You do interact with things...
I didn't say anything about side-scrolling, but I'd say Far Lone Sails is because your ultimate objective, part of the gaming experience, is you're interacting to keep that... Your goal there is to keep that boat, that machine going.
So yeah, I was just sort of trying to bring in sort of Mike's comment about linear stories.
When he thinks linear, I don't think he necessarily.
Well, I'm trying to think of something that was literally linear.
But yeah, not necessarily in a physical sense with how you're physically controlled in space.
I was just sort of trying to think of something that was obviously linear that we could use as sort of like.
Yeah. He says it may be linear, but you still have challenges to overcome.
Right.
So you're still you still have a thing to do. You're interacting quite heavily with your environment and with the thing that you're on.
Inflatable invader. Do I pop these? What are they?
You can't pop them. You need a pointy stick. I can't remember if it's a members only thing. You get a pointy stick from Party Pete.
That's a good question, though.
And I can't remember where Party Pete and the person you talk to is.
But I've got a sword. That's a pointy stick. It's just a pointy.
It is a pointy stick, but it's not the correct pointy stick. You know, there's certain etiquette around pointing these balloons. You know.
Okay. I don't know. It's just all of the examples that seem to have been given do just seem to sort of be describing different types of video games to me. That's the thing.
I think the trouble is having in archaeology, you've got to have very specific definitions in order to actually categorize and create typologies of things in order to analyze them effectively. I mean, there are many types of video games, you're absolutely right. But there are some things that I would also say don't count as video games.
Okay. But you talk about needing to have very broad definitions of
No, you don't want broad
very narrow definitions.
No, not narrow definitions. You need very specific definitions.
Okay, yeah, so I misspoke. Very specific definitions. But I mean, an example of a very broad definition, which is used in archaeology, is house.
No,
could
no.
mean-
House is not a technical definition within archaeology. It's not actually.
Okay.
You may say
but
something's
the way-
but it's not actually. That's
the
not
way that-
actually
isn't
how
an
they
archaeology-
define them.
isn't archaeology sort of like the exploration of human history. That's what it is, isn't it? Is that the definition?
Archaeology,
And house-
archaeology is the study of the material remains left behind by human beings.
Okay.
So it's our physical
so-
impact on, or how we alter the physical environment.
So house is a term which has been used by many different people to mean many different things throughout history. So surely and you talked about building then. You talked about buildings earlier and examining buildings in Minecraft in you know where they might have gained their influence from an archaeological perspective.
In RuneScape,
But a building is something that by definition has to have a broad definition.
Yes, but we don't. We talk about build, but that's not how we actually talk about the thing we're studying. We may say this is a building, but that's not where we stop. We then narrow it down. We create more. We create.
Game which is that experience.
I already said that there are many types of video games. We're not disputing that.
Yeah, but you know, again, I would say that sort of or this is a video game. It's an interactive novel, or this is a video game. It's an interactive movie. Those sorts.
I don't think you can have that border because the purpose of the actual thing has changed. You know, an interactive novel is generally not designed to be used in or participated in the same way as a video game, for example.
But if the definition of a video game, and one that that nobody sort of seemed to have disagreed with, is the manipulation or where was it? Game played electronically manipulating images produced by a computer program on a monitor or other display, then that would absolutely.
We've not finished with the definition of video game. Those are characteristics that we've agreed that all video games do have to have. But there are other. But that's not the end of the definition. It is a working definition. Archaeology often relies on working definitions because although you have to have very specific definitions, they're never set in stone.
So
I mean, specific definitions are just continuations on a journey to explore, and the way that we pigeonhole what we see and what we
so we have identified that specific definitions can be useful in archaeology then.
No, we said specific. Specific, yes. Narrow is what I said. I said that archaeology has to have specific definitions.
I think narrow was broad definitions. Sorry, yes.
You start with broad because you have to start from somewhere, and then you work with those and go from there.
Well, yeah, absolutely. So given the categories and the criteria, then in that case that we've all discussed that video games have to have, then I don't think we've discussed anything so far that doesn't fall into them.
Well,
other than the possible intention of the person that created it, which may.
Well, yes, interactive movies to a certain extent, because most interactive movies, you know, it's the level of interaction that we still haven't agreed upon. Because interactive movies generally require on pressing a button every so often. So, but those aren't designed to be games. Most people who tend to use them don't interact with them as games. So this is building on our definition. It is building on definition of video. Building on the definition of video games, what you have is also the user-defined and developer-designed experiences to what the thing is and the expectations of it.
Okay, so yeah, I would be what we sort of hasn't sort of been provided, and something that I'm interested to hear from you guys about is what would be the minimum level of interaction, or what would be the type of interaction that you guys?
Well, we have talked about it. We've talked about it several times. For example, an interactive movie basically requires you to make a few button presses, maybe every 20 minutes, to decide where the story goes.
Yeah.
That's not really massively interactive, just like what Sitterb was saying about a predominantly linear set of events with very limited interaction isn't really a game. It's not saying it's not enjoyable. It's not saying it's not a good experience. But what it isn't is a game. It doesn't really fit into,
Okay, so you've told me what doesn't. So what would be the minimum?
Okay, shall we actually get Nelson on and actually start doing some stuff in game? Because at the moment
I'm currently reading a thing.
We're not actually also playing RuneScape, which is actually what part of this is.
Oh, I'm running around talking to people and killing things. Sorry.
And then decide what we're going to do in game.
Okay, sure, not a problem. Because
you're sort of a little bit just going back and forth and not really. You're kind of nitpicking and just choosing what you want to talk about, which is not the purpose of what we're looking at. Really, with this game.
I thought we were looking to define what a video game.
We are, but you're not allowing us to move on with that definition. You just keep on going back to the same points again. What we need to move on now is look at these definitions and look at the further. We've started to set the framework. What we need to do is continue to go and look at what else a video game needs to have.
Yeah, so the questions that I've been asking are, what would be the minimum amount of interaction?
No. We don't want to talk about. We're continuing to look at the other aspects of video games. So we're trying to build and create a larger definition. We've talked about interaction. We've probably spent enough time on that for the moment, because we're not really getting anywhere. We're not really getting anywhere with that particular discussion at the moment. So now we're going to move on, and we're going to look at some other things.
Okay, I would like to discuss that at some point, because I'd be interested to hear your thoughts on it. Absolutely, yeah. Away. What's this one? Where am I? I'm in Draenor outskirts, apparently. I'm not quite sure how I got here.
It's basically just if you continue going north of Lumbridge, that's where you're going to go.
And chat this main.
Okay. So what do you want me to talk to? Okay, accept quest.
Because I would say, Sandy pictures, very nice.
I just realised my microphone was muted. I'm helping a witch stir a cauldron with a broomstick, which doesn't strike me as being very hygienic.
I guess it depends what else she uses the broomstick for.
If it's not the dusty end.
It depends. As I said, it depends on what the broomstick is used for and what it's what else it's been used for prior and what it's going to be used for after. If it's her broomstick stirring cauldron, then there's no issue really. So whereabouts do you say you were?
I'm in the big. I'm in. How do I check?
If you just click on the map icon, or just on the mini map itself in the top right hand.
I think
corner.
I'm in Burthorpe.
Burthorpe. Okie dokie.
Burthorpe.
let's go towards where you are and see if we can help you out a bit. So what have you done so far?
I've killed some bunnies and I've
Killed
chopped
some
down
bunnies.
2 trees.
Chopped down 2 trees. So again, if you just... Probably what's best is just to continue working through the tutorial bits.
Yeah.
So if you continue to go and
Talk to the guy. Talk to
Turiel. Turiel, yeah. He'll basically give you some more tasks. You'll go and do some mining. You'll make some weapons and armour. Which is good to know how to do, but I've got some weapons and armour for you anyway. And then you'll end up fighting some stuff and killing some goblins and eventually a troll, if I remember correctly. What world are you on, actually? If you hit escape and just go to Hop World, that's probably the easiest way.
Hot Worlds.
Why is it still
I am
running?
on Clan Wars UK.
What world number?
80.
If you want to come to 11, that's where me and Kyliroo are.
Actually, how do I tell?
So when it's on there, it should be the one which is roughly highlighted for you.
Okay.
But if you just go to 11 and join us there, because that's where both me and Kyliroo are.
I don't know why I can't have this displayed in the top left-hand corner of my screen anymore.
What are you trying to display?
I'm trying to track my quest by showing.
Are you doing Witch's Cauldron or?
I am on World 11.
Swept Away. No, Witch's Cauldron doesn't appear to be a quest anymore. Might be the similar quest. So if you set as active,
it's set as active,
and then if you go to Activity Tracker, it should come up in Activity Tracker as well. In fact, I can't get this to deselect from my Activity Tracker.
So yes, okay. So I've got Swept Away. Select, but it's not. So yeah, it's listed under Activity Tracker.
And then you may have to then close the Activity Tracker and reopen it again, then have it displayed in the top left.
Now it just says complete Swept Away quest.
Where's my...
A list of objectives.
Oh, it's in my pocket.
Am I imagining things? Is that not something that you have in RuneScape?
It should tell you, or at least it tends to give you. I'm trying to remember last time I actually used it because I don't tend to actually use it for that. Not for these quests anyway, because I've done them countless times.
The only thing it says under Activity Tracker is complete this novice quest. It doesn't actually tell me how to do it or what I've got to do.
It will tell you in your quest. At least it will tell you in your quest journal if you actually click on the quest. It will tell you what the next stage is.
I know. I was hoping it was just going to give me a list of objectives in the top left-hand corner, so I didn't.
And again, it generally the arrows will and the markings in game will lead you to where that next is. But it should...
I know. I generally feel the markings in the game aren't.
No. We'll give you a general area. It's not. It doesn't particularly want to spoon feed you necessarily.
I'm being spoiled by games like Skyrim. So it doesn't even tell me who I need to talk to. It's got a quest area.
Well, again, if you check the quest log, it will tell you.
Maggie uses Hetty in Remington, Aggie in Draenor, Betty in Port Sarim.
Wish there was dialogue.
Dialogue would be helpful, wouldn't it? So you didn't have to read everything.
Well, it will tell you. Obviously, the dialogue when you go and talk to those people, it'll tell you what to do, and it'll tell you what to do in that dialogue.
Well, I think that audio dialogue is.
Audio dialogue is what I.
Some of it is voice acted, but not all of it is voice acted.
So okay, so now it's not showing me. Okay, so I've got a Hetty in Remington. I don't know where Remington. Let's see whether we can find Remington.
Oh, did you watch the first Witcher season? Yeah.
Sarum, it's not active.
You watched the first episode, so you haven't seen the rest of it. Did you not get into it?
But Port Sarim is marked on the map.
Yes, I can't find any of the other places though.
What else are you looking for?
I am looking for Remington. Oh, Draenor I walked through. Remington I can't.
Remington is marked on the map.
Draenor's-
It is.
Go to Draenor.
Remington is much further south, so you're going to have to scroll down for that.
Well, there's Remington. It's over there. Okay, but it's just underneath Fowler. Or...
Yeah, not so much further west. Sorry, from where you are.
Okay, so let's go this way.
So they're not all going to be things which are necessarily in the immediate area.
No, I don't like the fact that seriously, I do like RuneScape. My major gripes are to do with the interface. And it's again it's the way that you know, sort of the track the quests to tracked, and how it displays the objectives. I think that could be much clearer, and I definitely think the map could be clearer.
The map is supposed to sort of deliberately be retro.
Okay.
I think that's part of the appeal and the charm that it's going for.
And you know, having more obvious and more visible waypoints would be useful.
Well, I mean, it literally shows you on your map where you need to go.
Well, yeah, but it doesn't always give you a waypoint. It doesn't always give you a marker. Sometimes it gives you a blue box.
For all the quests, I do. Yeah, a blue box. So you go there and you look for what you need to do.
Yeah, and sometimes you actually get the way line as well, which doesn't always come up.
What do you mean by way line?
The line that you follow, actually displayed in the GUI. Yep, okay.
It's always come up for me.
No, in order to enchant the room with a bit of space and privacy. Oh, a little clearing of switches sometimes use. Let me teleport. Yeah, okay, you can teleport me.
So it's always come up for me, so I don't know how to. I don't know how to help you there.
Sorry.
I don't know how to help you there because it's always come up for me.
Yeah, it's something that we did sort of talk about before when I first started it, and we weren't able to find a solution for that either. I did a bit of googling as well.
Oh.
And I wasn't able to find it. I'm being teleported to a random clearing.
Well, I was about to say I don't have that issue, so I can't really help.
Well, where are we and what are we doing here? That's a pretty marking. Right, what are we doing here? You want that room if it was enchanted? Yes, I do.
I mean, I'd say that actually Skyrim does less for you than RuneScape because it doesn't give you a finding path. It just marks an area on the map where you need to go to, and even then, it's not the exact. It's not the exact area in Skyrim. It could be.
But the map is much less busy, though. I find with Skyrim.
Well, I mean, you can turn off. You can decide what's displayed or not. You just unclick the quick link icons on the left hand side, and it'll turn off or not display what you want. So it kind of has stuff for general stuff that you might generally want, for example, and it sort of sets up for new players. But you can go in there and you can customize it how you like.
So in order to this broom, I've got to sweep some dusty lines on the ground. This doesn't strike me as being very hygienic.
Well, again, you know, they different understanding of hygiene in a medieval fantasy land.
Magical dust. Sweep 4 lines. Something I've got from a 4 lines. What? To enchant the broom, you need to sweep 4 lines to make the pattern of 4 small triangles.
8.
How?
Yeah, there's only 8 episodes. First season.
Oh, this is interesting. actually some puzzling. So I've got to sweep away 4 lines. Okay. Maggie's Groves and Maggie's Broom sweep away 4 lines from the pattern in the sand. I need to sweep 4 lines away so that the pattern on the ground is made up of 4 small triangles and nothing else.
Tasty.
How do I do that then? So I sweep away 4 lines. So 1, 2, 3. That's 4 triangles. So how do I take away 4 lines from what I'm seeing here to be able to turn it into 4 triangles?
Yeah.
So what kind of tasks are you currently on, Nelson?
I'm smelting stuff and learning about depositing ores, and I've killed some rabbits.
Killed some rabbits,
I've-
and now you're on
I've
the ore.
explored the mine, and now I'm looking at all the interactive, reedy things of a furnace.
Yep.
Bronze bar. Copper.
Are you on World 11?
I am on World 11.
And you're by the furnace?
I am.
I can't see you.
Let's try that again.
Let me have a double check. Hot World. World 11, I am apparently. Is it for smelter for oh, my head. Furnace. Near a mine.
I must have accidentally clicked off World 11 when I was showing you how to do it. That's weird.
I'm sure easily done. Oh, it wants me to go over here. Heat Forge.
Yeah. So furnace is where you do the smelting of the ore. Forge is where you do the making of what you want to make using the bars you created.
Select bronze. Begin project.
I was sent a very nice, very generous gift by... Oh, am I an idiot?
Everything okay?
Is it these? Ah, I think I found the lines that need to be swept. I was sent a bottle of Gentleman Jack by Dark Phase for my birthday.
Oh, very nice.
Nice. Gentleman Jack was a cool person in history. I've got a bronze helmet. Look at that.
I need it. I
Woohoo!
need it.
Just don't get
Ah,
hit in the
sorry,
head.
that's true.
You know, because bronze is soft. Well, actually, bronze. Although it's a soft metal, it's still pretty darn hard.
Well, also, if you're going to hit it with other bronze stuff, it's going to have comparative densities, isn't it?
Yeah, but I'm just saying, don't get hit in the head in general. But I mean,
Yeah,
even bronze
in the
can
head in
break
general.
bronze, just like steel can break steel.
Yeah, with sort of edges and
Yeah.
thinness, that sort of thing.
Thinness,
some
weaknesses
fancy people.
due to previous use,
Imperfections.
imperfections in the forging, depending on how they were forged, not caring for it properly.
Yeah.
So this is good advice, always look after your helmet.
Yep.
Make
I
sure you polish
haven't
it
seen.
regularly.
Yeah,
I
make sure you
haven't
polish
seen
it
my
regularly.
helmet in too
Let's
long.
keep this family friendly now.
I'm always family friendly. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh. Mhm.
Right, so now I need to go to... Where do I need to go to? This is quite a fun quest. I don't know how I... Sorry, I was wandering around and ended up on the Draenor outskirts and spoke to somebody who was standing around a caravan. And then I got...
It's always a bad
drawn
idea. You
into
should
the
never speak to people around caravans. You might get invited inside them. That's a more scary. That's a more scary prospect.
What's wrong with caravans?
Well, does anyone remember that Top Gear episode where Richard Hammond gets invited in?
There's so many with caravans.
When they go on the first time they go on a caravan holiday, and Richard Hammond gets invited inside the ladies' caravan.
Oh,
Appeared to be a member of his fan club. She seemed like a very nice lady, but Richard Hammond looked absolutely terrified. And of course, Jeremy Clarkson packs an AK-47.
Of course he does.
I'm gonna go cook the rest of my rabbit.
Oh, right. Okay, so
Look
I've
at
got
me
the
independently.
this is something that confuses me a little bit about the maps, actually, and I don't know whether anyone else has encountered this. The lodestone map compared to the detail map, there seems to be quite a disparity in scales. You think things are much further apart than they should be. So let's cut off some of these.
I honestly haven't interacted with the game enough.
Let's turn off.
I mean, yeah.
Activate activities. Oh, okay. So actually, activating activities does not take away your quest markers. Okay, that's good.
I guess the thing with the lodestone map, they're trying to make all of the world visible at once, so you can see where things are in relation to each other to give you a more macro scale. And so you don't have to sort of scroll to find the different places you may want to teleport to. But yeah, I see what you mean. It can be slightly.
I guess the thing that I'm having to do is I'm basically having to relearn the game from scratch.
Yeah, I guess they do try to keep it reasonably proportional in terms of ratios, but again.
Something else, and this is not unique to RuneScape by any means, is I wish that more what's the word I'm looking for? Games made it more obvious which way you were facing on maps as well.
Yeah, orientation can be really a pain on maps, yeah. No, I definitely agree with that. What game were we having difficulty
knowing which way you're facing?
Trying to figure that out on?
Was it last time we played RuneScape?
No, not RuneScape, it was something else.
Well, it was a game that you and me have played recently.
I thought it was recently.
Okay, learning how to use the bank. Let's do that.
Something we talked about recently, and what was it?
It was the last time we played RuneScape.
No, it wasn't a RuneScape map.
No.
I think we talked about it. I think we talked about orientations on map again last time we played RuneScape, but I remember a particular time. I think it was before that we were looking at it, and we were sort of had real trouble figuring it out.
It's a multiplayer game. Why are you attacking me? Oh, you're a highwayman.
Well, yeah, that's kind of their deal. That's kind of their deal. I'm trying to think back now to what we played recently. Don't know if it was.
Got a cape. Hey, stop respawning. I've only just demonetized you. I don't need another cape, and I probably don't need your buttons, so I'm going to leave you there. Alright, let's head this way. Games that we've played together where we might have had trouble with orientation. Minecraft when looking at treasure maps?
I've not been on Minecraft in ages.
Actually, to be fair, Minecraft does give you some idea which way you're facing, roughly.
I'm just gonna go and explore this random cave. Can't remember what's in him. Oh, it's a members cave.
I'd get rid of items.
How do you get rid of items? The best way to do that is go to your bank, if it's something you want to keep.
Or-
If it's not something you can just drop, you can just right-click on it and click drop. The banking chest is just... Do you know where the banking chest is?
I found.
bank
I
is.
found the bank.
Yeah, so you can bank in there, not banking chest. So yeah, that's...
Left.
Can I digress a minute to talk about alcohol?
Go for it.
Yeah.
I was asking. Ken,
Yeah.
yeah. I was given a bottle of Jameson's Stout Edition whiskey for my birthday, which you may or may not have remembered me mentioning earlier in the week. But it tastes very, very nice with cherry Pepsi Max. Flavors complement each other quite nicely. Was it the only other game that we've played together recently? Was it SWOTOR?
I don't think I saw it either. I'm pretty sure it was before that. It's going to bug me, but it's not worth thinking about too much on the game. But yeah, I mean, a lot of games, it kind of baffles me why they don't show you orientation on that. But I guess, you know, it's very difficult to do that with the marker they choose on RuneScape, because it doesn't really show you. Kind of shows you as
I guess it's going back to trying to keep the retro feel, I suppose, isn't it? Where you know they made a decision to instead of put a new marker in and change the marker, they decided to keep the original one for the game. Which, you know, I mean, I don't blame them at all. You know, it just doesn't necessarily make it particularly obvious. Or there is a compass, I suppose.
There is a compass, yeah. You do have the compass, so you can kind of twizzle that, at least when you're moving, not so much on the map. But
yeah, it's so useful. I guess it does indicate which way you're facing. I'm just seeing whether it pops up on the big map, but
I don't think. No, I can't see a way of making it. But I was just actually seeing if there's like an option. For example.
So I guess sort of comparing the direction that you're facing in according to the compass on the mini map with where you're looking when you go into the big map. I guess that's probably the best way to do it. Unless there are any RuneScape aficionados watching the stream that could point out anything, you know.
Unfortunately, the RuneScape aficionado who was potentially going to watch today is otherwise engaged, but he may watch on Saturday or next week.
Nice.
So we can try re-asking. The question then. But
That'd be cool.
yeah, I mean, this map, I don't. Other than it's slightly more interactive than it used to be. But then its sort of first iteration still very much looks like it was drawn in paint. Which I think has a certain level of charm.
Mind you, the maps that I use for my roleplay games basically are drawn in paint or on graph paper and then scanned into the computer.
Oh, I mean it does the job for that. You know, we're not actively moving in that as such, are we? That's.
But that is true. That is true. I suppose that is true. Very true. I am on a. On the discussion about video games in general rather than RuneScape particularly, I'm still very much looking forward to Hogwarts Legacy. That's been pushed back to 2022.
The Victorian era.
Yes, the Victorian era Harry Potter.
No, that does look awesome. Actually, I have been trying to follow that development. And that would be really interesting to see, you know, how much impact actually setting it in the Victorian era has. Because obviously Hogwarts sort of has this perpetual era of pretty much being set in a...
Yeah, I mean, I guess maybe that's to manage sort of expectations between Muggle and Witch interaction, possibly. I was thinking about this earlier, actually.
Yeah.
Maybe that was a deliberate design choice to sort of minimise... everyone's got a base level of technology which is sort of the same.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes, the technology maybe there aren't going to be too different, as you say.
Yeah, maybe that was the choice on the part of the game designers.
And also, I guess it's doing something different which hasn't been done before. It's exploring an era which, you know, people have explored the eras around the books, sort of either side and sort of during. And, you know, and obviously they've done the Fantastic Beasts side of things.
When that's
1940s-ish, 1930s.
Where's this trapdoor that you want me to go down, Hetty? Can't see one.
You can always also consult the RuneScape wiki. which you can do during the taskbar in the chat. Although mine's not showing at the moment. Why aren't you showing RuneScape Wiki?
Oh, it's outside. Right, okay. Go through the trapdoor, which is over there. What you mean outside of the house that I'm in?
Where's the RuneScape Wiki link, which is normally in the chat box? Where's that disappeared to? Oh, that's just because that's just on private chat. I want all chat. Why are you just private chat? There we go. So yeah, you can always use the RuneScape Wiki tool, which I think is a really good tool that people should have. You know, more in games like this, where you can just type a direct query into the official wiki and it'll load up the webpage for you. That is a really nice touch.
Terrible fear of news. Oh dear. Okay, I've got to work out which of these chests has got newts in it, which of them has got toads in it, and which of them has got a combination of newts and toads in it, and then label them correctly.
Kind of sounds like she's getting you to do her housework for you. For her.
I was sent down to talk to Gus, the delivery ghoul, who is in this witch's cellar for some reason.
Well, that's probably best not ask questions about that, really. And what are you up to, Nelson?
Okay.
I'm in a cave where I'll be killing some trolls. I'm talking to a guy.
I've got
I shall come and join you. Sorry, Kyliroo?
I've got Schrodinger's newt, that's the problem.
Schrodinger's newt.
Okay, can we look the labels?
Okay, I feel like I'm making a start.
There you go, I can see you.
Oh, is that you?
It is me.
Hello.
Hello
This
there.
is me.
Hello.
Hey, don't touch the crates. Well, what do you want me to do, Gus? I'm here.
Right,
So basically this is training in the different levels of killing stuff. So you'll be starting off killing stuff which is weak to the different types of combat.
It wants me to go this way.
Yeah, then will take you the troll chuckers, which are weak generally to melee style attacks. Strength style attacks by the look on above. So if you once you hover over them, it kind of tells you what they're weak to.
Attack troll, melee, I think.
Yeah, melee, specifically sort of strength style melee attacks, I think it is hinting at. So watch out for a random NPC person who also keeps on running around and killing a load. And there's various... Oh, there's quite a few players in here today.
Most enemies drop bones when defeated. Bury bones to earn experience in the prayer skill.
Yeah.
Take...
All the 3 labels.
So yeah, you can... I'm gonna kill a zombie as well. A zombie? Troll. Hey! I killed a level 1 troll chucker. Oops. I'll not kill the one you're trying to kill.
Can you remind me what I need to do? Right, okay. Well, you see, labels in these crates have somehow become confused. I've put the wrong label on each. I really don't see how this is my problem, Gus.
Yeah, it's like
crippling for magical newts and toads don't work for a magical newt and toad delivery company.
This is poor design and job decision on your part. Not my problem.
I don't know how it happened. All of us delivery ghouls receive top-notch training in everything that has to do with labels and crates. Well, clearly... Okay.
Clearly you were away for some of that training, or weren't paying attention.
Put the correct labels in each crate. Before you start, you can pick one creature out of any crate of your choice. If you pick wisely, you should be able to figure out exactly what is in all of the crates using only that information. That doesn't logically make sense, but okay. a newt.
Yeah, wait.
Oh, I need to put the newt, but that doesn't tell me which crate then has newts. It tells me which crate has got newts in it, but not which one has got newts and toads in it. Also, how the frick are you going to know? If
Experimentation.
you're not going to look at... Well, I can only look in one crate, that's the thing. So this one definitely either has newts and toads in it or toads. This one definitely either has newts and toads in it or newts, and that one definitely either has newts and toads in it or newts or toads. Alright, let's just guess. If anyone who's watching this stream can tell me how to work it out from the information that's been given to me, then that would be useful. I've seen you put new levels in the crate. Oh, newts. This is so confusing, but I think something about this labeling. Well, bloody do it then. Excuse my language.
Okay. I killed 5 trolls.
Killed the 5 trolls.
Ah, I've got a cape. Look at me with my helmet and cape.
Swap these 2 round.
Let's organize my inventory. I got some arrows. Okay. Alright, back to Duriel. Name.
Right. Remove the label. And remove that label. Put that label on that one. And this label on that one. And then see whether that's right. I don't understand. I don't get this. Oh no. I'm gonna try swapping these around again. That doesn't make any sense to me at all.
I've got the solution here.
Well, you picked a newt from the middle crate, then labelled it with a newts and toads label. Yes. So how do you know for sure that the crate... I don't, but I also put the newt label on there and you told me it was wrong as well.
Is it? Would you like the solution?
Combination I haven't tried. No, don't extract the treat, remove the label. And I think at this point I would just take the broomstick back to the other witch and say, now you know what, you can do this, I can't be bothered.
So it says here, to solve the puzzle, you must remember that every crate is labelled wrong. You're only allowed to choose the sample from one crate. Extract a creature from the incorrectly labelled newt and toad mixture. If you extract a newt from the mixture crate, place a newt label on that crate. If you extract a toad from that mixture, put a toad label on that crate. Of the remaining 2 crates, one will have the label of the creature that wasn't in the previous crate, apply newts and toads to this crate, and the final label on the last box.
So I did that. I made sure that there was an alternative label to add to all of the things, and he said that it was wrong because the one that I had labelled newts and toads, that was previously labelled just toads, that had newts in it, I had labelled as newts.
So here it says, you know, so...
Well, you want me to search the crates first? But you told me I couldn't... What? I'm confused.
So yeah, so you must search at least. So you search for crate. So here in the walkthrough it says you search for crate, which is incorrectly labelled newt and toad mixture. If you extract a newt from
everything when you reset the thing. So that one definitely had a toad in it. So these ones might now either have newts and or toads in both of them. So let's put that one on.
So one will have the label of the creature that wasn't in the previous crate. So you want to apply newts and toads to the label in that crate.
Has to be that. This one has to be that, because that's the only way around the back could be true. This one. And that one. No, that's not going to work. Remove that label. Use that label. Alright, reset it. Sure, why not?
I guess you're cleaning some more trolls now, are you, Nelson?
Frick.
These things I will be. Oh, my game's frozen.
Oops, you don't want that.
I'm genuinely not sure how. Okay, all right.
Have you managed to solve it?
I have, by doing the same thing I had done a few. Basically, I had to do it 3 times and be told 4 times and be told it was wrong. Then on the 5th time, I did the same thing. I was told it was right.
Yeah, well, there are 6 options it could have been.
Yeah, and I went through the different options for each label basically like 4 times.
Well, 6 options for each. There are 6 up. So the left box. So the options are, you know, left box could be newts and toads. Middle box newts. Right box toads, or it could be newts, toads, newts, toads, newts and toads, newts and toads, toads, newts, newts and toads, newts, or toad, newt and toads.
Yeah. So basically, yeah, I went through them and changed them about and made sure that each label was different to the one that had on it previously.
So the way to do it first time is if you take out a you want to choose the newt and toad mixture box as the first one. Because no matter which one you take from that one, it can't be newts and toads, so it's going to be one of those creatures. So whichever you take out, you put that's what it is. Then of the remaining 2 crates, one will have the label of the creature that wasn't in the crate. So that must be newts and toads, because it has to be labelled wrong. And then the final one is the final one that you have left over.
The best way to do it is to look up the... what the frick?
Well, that's what I'm saying. This is what the walkthrough is.
I was going to say, I think the best way to do it is to look at the walkthrough.
Yeah, this is what the walkthrough says. So extract a creature from the middle one, because that will tell you actually what that crate is. If you're not the middle one, the newts and toads, because it's labelled incorrectly, so it can only be one of those options. So if you take one from that and it's newts or toads, you label that as what it is. Then the one which wasn't in the crate has to be wrong, so that must be the mixed box. And then the last one is by process of elimination is what you have left over.
I've just walked into this other witch's house and immediately got attacked by a mugger.
Well, witches aren't necessarily known for their hospitality.
Well, they always seem to be very hospitable. They just don't seem to be very well at organising things.
Well, I mean, just because a couple are hospitable doesn't mean all of them are.
You see, my chest is locked away by hiding magical means. I'd explain you in detail about time. While my apprentice Lottie downstairs just popped down the trap door and that's what I sent you. Also, I like the colour of your robes.
What colour robes?
Sort of like a greeny and blue, like aqua blue, I guess. Aqua green, that colour. I need to retrieve Betty's wand. Betty sent me down here to fetch the wand. She said there might be a small complication. I'll say there are complications. Betty has a penchant for intricacy. We're going to be able to get that wand to you over, get the chest open, okay? Well,
I just caught a butterfly and it gave me experience in construction.
Of course it did.
Not entirely sure how that works.
No, but here's the deal. The chest is simply not going to open until order has been restored to Betty's menagerie. Oh, I've already lost interest in this quest. 6 separate chambers, which is like a house and a little critter. Each creature has... I've got a very short attention span, you see. You need quests to be short and snappy. Go here and kill the lads. That's pretty much...
Unfortunately, RuneScape is not necessarily the one for that if you just want to go and kill the lads.
So, place. This is the one. This is the only quest that I've had so far which hasn't involved going there and killing the lads.
Well, Cook's assistant didn't involve killing anything.
Exactly. Oh, that's true.
And neither did the humble pie thing. That just involved poisoning someone.
Attention span. That was ago.
You okay, Nelson?
Yes.
Are you tired?
I am a little bit. Reading makes me sleepy, and there's a lot of reading.
Yes, unfortunately, not all the bits are audio files. RuneScape is a bit.
Yeah, I think this is one of the things I'm struggling with. I absorb information better if it's spoken, not through reading. Or if it's written on a bit of paper that I can actually have in front of me, that's fine. But I struggle reading things from a computer screen, which is ironic considering I'm an IT support technician.
Yeah, that's sort of your job.
Yeah, no, well, I'm very good at memorising where things should be. I have to move the creatures one by one. You can use the holding pen in this room to help shift them into the right. Okay, this is a put the diamond, put the shapes in the correct box situation. But you can't have more than one shape in the same box, otherwise they fight. Shouldn't have to move the bat and the snail at all. They're exactly where they need to be. Okay. Here's a magical slate. It always shows the overview exactly who You know, if I could take the ring to Isengard... God. Rivendell. I'd take it to Isengard, sure, why not? If I could take the ring to Rivendell, that sounds like... I would rather do that for a year than...
Well, to be fair, both
do
from Hobbiton are a difficult journey.
Right, you're a blackbird pen. Okay, but the blackbird is in the blackbird pen, isn't it? I'm struggling to work out how we managed to identify whether creatures are in the right pen. Okay, that is a lizard that appears to be in the rat pen. There's a big bit of cheese in the rat pen. Can I take the creature out? Okay. Take the reptile out of the rat pen. That is the reptile pen. It's got a spider in it. That's the spider pen. It's got something else in it. What's that got in it? That's got the rat in it. Oh, shut up, lizard. Right, I'm going to put you in the holding pen.
Woof.
No. What?
I don't know.
I don't want to put it into that chamber. I want to put it in the chamber behind it. That one hasn't got anything in it, has it? Has the holding pen got anything in it? Okay, I've got to move the blackbird out of the blackbird pen.
Sure, that sounds logical.
Put it in the holding pen. I'm going to take the spider out of the reptile pen, and I'm going to put it in the blackbird pen. Oh, really? I'm not even allowed to go near the thing? I can't walk past. Why do you keep these animals in such close proximity to each other if they don't like each other? This strikes me as being very harmful to their mental and physical well-being.
Yeah, and why do you have a lot of animals which generally hate each other?
Take this out of there and put it in the blackbird pen.
And want to kill each
I'm not
other?
going to be able to past any of these things because... Alright, let's rotate them. Take the big hairy spider out of there and put it in with the cheese wedge. I'm going to take the rat out of there and put it in the lizard thing. I'm going to take the lizard out of the blackbird pen and put it in the spider thing. I'm going to take the spider out of the rat pen and put it in the blackbird thing.
And then you just need to put the lime in the coconut.
What is going on?
Right, now I can put the rat in the cheese thing. Okay. Rat to go there.
Basically, it's a sorting puzzle.
Out of the spider thing. This is more interesting than that bloody Newton toad thing.
It's kind of part solving puzzle, part, you know, chicken, grain, and fox puzzle.
Chicken, grain, and fox. Oh yes.
Yeah, how do you get a chicken, grain, and fox across a lake in a boat, and the boat can only hold one at a time, and you can't leave the chicken with the grain, and you can't leave the fox with the chicken.
I would just feed the chicken the grain and make the chicken eat the fox, and then carry the fox. That's what I would do. Can I open this?
Yeah, they have to in the puzzle. They have to all get there intact and not eaten.
Well, I would eat the chicken. I'll just eat all three of them. Can I have?
Yeah, but they're supposed to be there intact. That's my point. You can't eat them.
Hang on, what am I supposed to be getting from down here? I've forgotten. I'm supposed to be getting a... well, then you've got the creature...
I mean, foxes should actually be able to swim a short way. Just tell a fox to swim.
It's like, oi, you lazy, go swim.
I'd build a catapult. Catapult the
well,
grain and the fox over and over with chicken.
The way that you do it is you take...
The fox, the grain, the chicken.
No, you take the fox over.
No, because you'll be leave the grain with the chicken.
Okay, in that case, you shoot the fox.
Well, the fox can be left with the grain.
That's true. You take the chicken,
Chicken
put
over.
the chicken on the other side of the river. You go back and get the grain and the fox, or can you only have one in the
You can
boat?
only have one at a time.
Okay. Yeah, so you go over and get the grain, and then you pick the chicken up, put the grain down, then take the chicken back over. Then you put the chicken down, pick the fox up, take the fox over, and leave it with the grain.
Yeah, and you go back and pick up the chicken.
I don't know where the wand is. I went into the chest and it didn't pick it up. I've done the bloody animals in the boxes. Busy work. That's a good way to describe this, isn't it? Busy work. It's not giving me the wand. Is that the wrong chest? Search chest.
Okay,
Why don't you
Archaeogaming
remember-
channel. What is the best or the most fun you've had playing a game recently, and how is it relevant?
I spent some time looking for datacrons and thingies on Korriban on Monday.
Playing Star Wars without us, honestly.
No, it was the stream on Monday.
Well, you were looking for datacrons?
Yeah, we found one in the library.
Yeah. The most fun I've had playing a game recently, how is it archaeology related?
Well, I did play SnowRunner and had to recover a rather battered truck. That was quite good fun.
What game?
Conservation, you see.
Well, I mean, I've enjoyed playing RuneScape for quite a lot recently, and although it has an archaeology element, it's not how I've actually got there yet. Other than that, Doom 3 I've been playing, and that has elements of archaeology, because you know, people doing bad things with alien artifacts and excavating ancient ruins and doing bad stuff with alien technology. And that is a good lesson that you need to be very careful with the artifacts you're playing with. I've actually been playing a lot of games. I've been doing a lot of research into other games that I want to play and finding out. I've got a good few lined up, both archaeology and non-archaeology related. So I've got, as I said, there's the Longing, although it's not directly archaeology related. It's involves a lot of digging, potentially, or just, you know, disappearing for 400 days and coming back, you know, whatever your bag is. By the same developer, there's also an archaeology puzzle adventure game, which I momentarily forget the name of, but that's on my list. And also, I've got a few playing history games lined up. Currently playing Vikings, playing... what are the other ones? Playing the slave trade, which sounds like it's going to be a really uplifting experience, and playing the Plague, which sounds oddly relevant to modern day.
Oh yes,
So-
I remember seeing your Instagram post about that.
Yeah, so those are some I've got lined up. And also, you know, I spent a lot of time before Easter playing through the various different options in C14 dating simulator for the different endings that you can possibly get, which I think in total there's how many different love interests are there? 4. There's 2 for each, plus 3 other non-romantic or friendship endings you can have. So there's 11 endings in total. There's a friendship and romance one for each of the characters that you can romance in the game, including an asexual character and a non-heterosexual character.
What game was that, sorry?
C14, the archaeology dating simulator.
Oh, nice, okay.
So that's got some... it's also an Atomi dating simulator and goes against the normal sort of Atomi dating simulator stereotypes such as jock, nerd, and other things. You know, the characters are a lot more realistic and all have sort of elements of each of the traditional stereotypes because they're actual people.
What's the Tomi dating? I'm not sure.
It's just a type of Japanese dating simulator. It's a dating simulator with very sort of... sort of
Have they
specific
consumed loads of
stereotypes
popcorn
and
before?
specific story sort of tie-ins. And yeah, there's sort of at least 11 endings you can have for that.
Start implementing my compass watching technique into working.
So that's a fun. That's a fun. That was fun, although most of the story's the same. So it's trying to go through and decide and figure out what actual options and actions you take and how that changes the different paths that you take with
Is
each
there a way to
character.
dissuade really annoying low-level monsters from attacking you?
No, not really. Kill them first. Preemptive, you know. How about you, Nelson? I mean, the link can be abstract, you know. Be creative. Be creative with your links. What was the last game you played?
Well, the last game. Well, I mean, I'm currently playing RuneScape. The last game I played, which isn't the one I'm playing actively, was Red Dead Redemption, the first game.
Okay.
Because we recently finished the second, which was a prequel, which I loved so much. I can't.
Yeah, that's the thing that annoys me when they call them a second game, but it's actually a prequel to the first. It's like
I know. It's like, couldn't you call it
the prequel or something? Have an interesting subtitle rather than confuse gaming scholars of the future.
It happens before the first game, but it's called number 2, which because I played number 2 first, and it is a prequel. It confuses my brain no end.
Yeah,
I'm like, Ed, the first game we played, which is the second one, which happens before the first.
So you're doing it in chronological.
The prequel wouldn't have come about. I get your point about using an interesting subtitle instead of a numbering convention. I get that, but I guess maybe it's because the second one wouldn't have come about. It wouldn't have come about if it wasn't for the success of the first one.
I know, I can understand that, but still, rather than give it 2, just
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah.
Rather than giving it 2, like.
To be fair, if I'm honest,
chronologically, just
Red Dead Redemption Origins.
Yes. Origins, or just something. Yeah, although Origins is used way too much. Assassin's Creed has pretty much butchered most of the good subtitles you could have by using them to mostly insubstantial games.
The only good one, what?
There's the one with pirates in it.
Black Flag.
Yeah.
And I quite enjoyed.
I've not played any of them. I can't really comment.
I quite enjoyed the first one. I did enjoy Black Flag. Yeah, I think the trouble is they're now basically trying just to. They're not doing too much new with the game, other than setting it new. In new environments and trying to do.
I heard that the gameplay and stuff have changed quite a bit since.
Well, it's changed to basically fit in with every other sort of open world sandboxy style game.
Yeah.
Basically, Assassin's Creed is doing the same thing over and over and over again with a vaguely different.
And just hyping, and just choosing whatever the current. Best the current in vogue gameplay mechanics of other similar games. It had a really unique selling point to begin with, but now it's played out a bit too much, and they're not doing enough new, I don't think, to entice me back. Although I am very tempted by Valhalla, because Vikings are always awesome.
I mean, the thing is the most exciting things about it aren't the Assassin's Creedy things. But the actual Assassin's Creed plot line can go hang, as far as I'm concerned. Like, I would love to have a version of Black Flag without all of the Abstergo nonsense.
Yeah, and actually more of the assassin bit.
Yeah, okay.
But what I mean is, the bit
I didn't like was having to pull out of that to interact with the modern world.
Yeah, exactly. It gets in the way of actually what the game is about, which is jumping around assassinating people.
Absolutely, yeah.
I've never.
something that
I've
can
never
actually be
played any of them directly, but I did remember when I was just watching my brother play because I was young and I was just having fun just watching him. And I remember, I think it was the one with Ezio in it, and
Yeah.
I kept being like, "Why? There's a really good story. Why are we suddenly with these modern humans in like an office? This is bad in comparison."
To
Yeah.
be fair, I also have Syndicate. That looks interesting.
I have played Syndicate, and Syndicate is it is interesting.
Yeah. Actually, this the thing that I was helping this witch create that she wanted to stir with a cauldron that had been rubbed with some furniture polish, dusted on the ground, and then enchanted with a wand is goulash.
Oh, well, goulash is really tasty.
Is it magical goulash though?
No, it's not. It's completely normal goulash. Well, what witch does not love goulash, I ask you? What could be more witchy than a big old cauldron full of spicy yumminess?
I mean, sure.
Well, what about all the effort I went through with enchanting the broom? Well, you don't think spicing something as good as easy, do you?
Elon, obviously, life starts.
Yeah. So Ezio would have been Assassin's Creed 2, or possibly
You know who it is? It's Sir Loris.
Brotherhood.
It's Marjorie's brother. Yeah.
It is Brotherhood, is it?
It's Assassin's Creed 2 as well, or Brotherhood.
Oh, I can add some XP to an aspect. Oh, okay.
And is he in
What
another
skill
one?
is that upgrade?
Can't remember if they did a trilogy out of that. Really, Ezio had no personality. Because there's then Revelations. Oh yes, Revelations is the one which had Altair from the first one and Ezio. And jump in between the freaking two, which always was really freaking stupid. I actually quite enjoyed Assassin's Creed 3, which was the one set during the American Revolution. Actually, that was quite good.
I haven't played that one, I admit.
But again, Black Flag did the sea combat stuff better, I think.
Yes.
Because it's kind of a side thing in Assassin's Creed 3. Which was actually Assassin's Creed 5, because, again, you know, people don't understand how to number games.
Oh, don't even get me started on Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, no, that is another one which is...
We're on Assassin's Creed. We're on Grand Theft Auto 5 at the moment, which is actually Grand Theft Auto 8.
Well, I mean, it's made by Rockstar, doesn't it? Who also do Red Dead, so...
That is true.
Yep.
Red Dead is just Grand Theft Auto on horses.
Grand Theft Horse.
Grand Theft Horse, as Yahtzee put it.
Yeah, but I love it like just so much.
Oh, that's not to say it's not a good game.
I think that is some of the Red Dead 2 is some of the most fun I've had gaming recently.
You know, if you think about it, the plots are vaguely similar. I mean, there's less, running over old lanes.
I haven't played
in Red Dead Redemption.
the fifth Grand Theft Auto.
It's like all the other Grand Theft Auto games, but another one.
Nice.
Yeah, it's Grand Theft another one.
It's Grand Theft another one. That's
Grand Theft. We're doing it again.
Grand Theft. We want another paycheck.
I mean, to be fair, Rockstar only release games like once every 5 years, and they are good games.
To be fair, I'm surprised they've managed to make as much out of the Grand Theft Auto franchise as they have. I'm going to be back in just a moment. I can still hear you guys. I'm just walking away from the mic. I've got my headphones on though.
Fair enough.
Right, Grand Theft Auto GTA Online is good, and so is Red Dead Online.
I've heard.
Right. Where are you?
Not about. Oh, give me a second. I was in the names.
You can describe the picture to me if that's better.
Brimthorpe. I can't.
Berthorpe.
Berthorpe. All
Now
of the.
I've stopping for which I've upgraded. Let me drink her magical goulash, which let me upgrade a lot of my skills, though.
Goulash is awesome.
Well, I'm fond of my goulash anyway.
I like your goulash.
Well, so you definitely want to make sure it's goulash rather than goulash.
Yeah, so that's a whole different kettle of something.
Because, well, hopefully, if it's goulash, it's goulash which is made by a ghoul rather than being made of ghouls. Because that would not be as tasty. I suppose I'm not really doing much other than standing vaguely near Nelson. I've not actually done much. Oh no, Kyliroo, sorry. I'm standing by Kyliroo.
I'm going to go and acquire another alcoholic beverage. I shall be back in...
Okie dokie. So, I mean, GTA Online's basically just GTA 5 but online. Thinking about GTA 5. I mean, I still can't find a copy of the original GTA. A proper copy anywhere.
No?
Really? No, it kind of sucks. That I can't find it. The original one was awesome. But as I said, there was that pen and paper style drawn one which I found on Steam, which looks weird if I'm honest. I just occasionally caption butterflies. I haven't actually done much. Apologies to those who actually expected this to be kind of a vaguely RuneScape themed me doing stuff stream. It's not really been that.
We've been having interesting gaming discussions, which is, you know.
We have been having gaming discussions, and that's definitely been part of what the stream is about. As well as actually, we're kind of doing this playing a game as an excuse to have a discussion, which unfortunately, when you're having really interesting discussions, can be quite difficult. Like the one about what defines a game. Kind of stopped that one because it's very hard to concentrate on a game and discuss that. So I think we're going to have to do that more as a podcasty style thing.
No, I would love that because I was enjoying that. That was
so I think that will be a more when we're more dedicated to actually sitting down and chatting podcast style and have that kind of chat. And at least if we are playing a game which doesn't necessarily require so much attention like arcade style games, maybe it's a good thing to plan for when we can actually be together in the same place.
That would be lovely.
And you can take it in turns, sort of playing arcade-style games and talking.
That
have it as a lounge thing. Although that might take a while, it'll be quite an interesting discussion to have. We can have multiple discussions about it, of course.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean we can't talk about it more than once.
Indeed. Being weird, I did come off briefly and that went open.
And again, I've been kind of trying to help you guys with stuff whilst I've been on here as well, so... Talking about quests and things at RuneScape. Things which are good about RuneScape, things which aren't quite so good about RuneScape. It would be nice to have more voice-acted quests. But for the really old quests, they're not necessarily going to do that. I mean, they have done some for some which are old quests, which they basically reinvented with new plot. Such as the Rune Mysteries quest, which is now completely different.
I was doing the tutorial things. I'm like, this is the sort of thing that would strike me. You would audio up, but
Again, I guess adding audio in always costs extra expense.
Yeah, it does, which is fair enough.
So. And I mean, quests do kind of try to warn you, or at least some of them do, that there are audio parts. So you should know. I
Oh, what's my Steam doing?
What is your Steam doing?
Yes.
Is it being steamy? Or is it being unsteamy?
I think unsteamy is not.
How long have we been streaming? Been streaming for almost 3 hours. Cracking.
Oh, look at that. I'm not doing too bad.
I think
You
we
are.
may leave the stream soon. Or stop stream soon. So as I said, for the Saturday stream, I've got some stuff to give you. It's not going to make much of a difference until you've got a defense level of 10, though. So, you know,
I can work on that.
work on that. Yeah. Do that stuff. I think the main thing, I was talking to Kyliroo about it, I don't know if you're on by that point, is to just mainly get everyone on Saturday through the initial tutorial bits.
Yeah.
And through some of the beginning quests, just to get people leveled up. And then we can kind of take it from there, really. There's lots of different questy things we can do. Skilling and making money and buying cool costumes.
Nice.
There's PvP elements we can do, but PvP in RuneScape is basically for keeps.
For what?
Keeps, basically, you basically lose whatever you have on you. Other than your most valuable free item. I can't remember if they've changed it now for PvP. But when you die in the world, it's your three most valuable items. There are other things you can do to protect other items. That requires other things.
I think I've just accepted the fact I've moved on to hard liquor for the evening.
There's also sort of mini games within RuneScape we can give a go as well. For basically as long as we want to play RuneScape for.
Virtually. So
The only other thing that I really need to do either today or tomorrow is to
I'm just saying.
level up my D&D character.
Yeah.
Because it's your stuff is more important. Now that my first
Right. So this has been an interesting stream. I've not actually done much RuneScaping, but wanted to do some sort of bank management actually. But we've certainly had some interesting discussions.
Yes.
Some discussions which are probably best to have where we're also not trying to play a game. Or at least
Yeah,
for
that's
some
it,
people
that's
to play a
what we
game where they're not too familiar with either.
Yes, yeah, and then those of us that aren't familiar with the game or aren't having to split their
Attention.
attention. This broken sword totally looks like one I could pick up. I want it.
I would say that kind of discussion probably does best work in a podcast environment. And probably a podcast environment where also we're together and can be together.
We do have a couple of ideas for podcasts, actually, if your stream is interested, don't we? We've got the idea that we had with Toasty, the Taoist Dragon, where we were going to sit down and talk about... Were you involved in that conversation?
You may have to
You're gonna
refresh
sit
my
down
memory.
We're going to sit down and talk about... I think you might have been moderating that particular stream for me, but I think you engaged with it in the chat. Like myself, Toasty and Nelson, and you, we were going to have a podcast where we talk about technological and medical advances.
Oh,
sort of thing.
yeah.
And then we could have a discussion where we talk about the nature of video games. That sounds like quite good fun.
Yeah, nature of video games. You know, we can do the other one which I planned, which was the Curator's Corner one, wasn't it? Where we all play a game and then come and talk about it.
Oh, yeah, that'd be cool.
Yes.
So we all choose a game to play over like a fortnight.
A game,
Come and chat about it.
a game I've definitely been enjoying recently, which I've spoken to various people about, is SnowRunner.
Yes, you vaguely, yeah. So
Which is a great game.
we can maybe think about setting a date for that at some point.
That'd be cool.
And also, obviously, when we're able to get together again, we can sort of do gaming challenges together. We can introduce.
Board games. Oh,
Yeah, we can talk about board
Yes.
games. It's not just. This isn't just a video gaming channel. It's all types of games, board games, dice games,
you could thrash me at chess, and we could talk about the historical significance of chess.
role-playing games. I don't think I would thrash you at chess.
I barely played it.
But chess and Go obviously have interest in, especially Go
We
from
could play
a.
chess, and people watching the stream can tell us how terrible we are.
We are.
Yeah.
There's Go, for example, which has interest in strategical and military training history.
Fox and Goose, or Fox and Geese, rather.
Yeah. Nine Man's Mice, Dead Man's Mice. Another good game.
That's a fun
Other obscure Roman and medieval games.
I've got a whole list of medieval card games.
You do, actually, yeah. You've got that set as well, medieval cards, don't you?
Yeah, that'd be fun
Well,
to play with that.
I think they're actually a bit later. I think no. Those cards are from 1455, I think.
Yeah. So sort of high medieval towards the end of the medieval, War of the Roses.
The book covers games from late medieval to Tudor, I think.
Nice.
Yep.
No,
So
it'd be really cool to play with those.
so that's something again. As when we do that, we can sort of get a camera, a downward-facing camera over a table maybe, or an upward-facing camera sorted out.
I need to get a 2-camera setup sorted.
Yeah. Again, when I have my museum space, that'll be a good place to do that kind of thing.
Oh,
A game I definitely want to play with some people together. Not necessarily archaeological related. I just want to sort of get it out there, so hopefully people remember it. Is the Hogwarts battle game?
Oh yeah.
I've had fun playing that.
Games for this channel aren't all about, directly archaeology related. It's also about games in general.
We can play a game and talk about the games that inspired it.
Games which inspired it, what the game's about, deconstruct the game itself.
We've got a giggles.
Hello.
Hello.
How's everybody?
Not too bad.
Good. We are just discussing things that we will do on the channel,
Cool.
such as other games you want to play, both board games and video games.
I just got done watching some Game of Thrones.
Oh,
Nice.
awesome.
Got to witness Joffrey choked to death.
Oh, that's always satisfying.
Yes. Because they actually show the entire thing, whereas I was really... Are you still streaming?
We are, yeah.
Okay. I was really... Spoilers for anybody who's listening. Really happy when Ramsay hit the big one. But I was really depressed because... disappointed because they didn't show the whole thing.
Yeah.
I can see it.
I think we don't need to declare spoilers for things like Game of Thrones, especially that now, because it's been out for so long. If you've not watched it, then...
True.
I just realised I was muted. They actually cut down the death scene for Ramsay. It was going to be much more graphic.
Yeah, I wish they had left it graphic because that would have been a really satisfying death to watch.
There are, yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. There's not enough games out there talking about satisfying deaths to watch about examining skeletons. There needs to be more games than that. That might just be me. I have no idea what I'm actually doing in RuneScape at the moment. I'm just walking around looking at the butterflies and walking up and down birth rope. I was cutting down some trees.
Examining skeletons.
Yeah.
Well, you do a lot of that in Skyrim.
Yeah, I mean, there's. I said there's not enough games. I didn't say there weren't any.
Fair enough.
To be fair, the examine of skeletons you do in Skyrim tends to be with a very big, heavy object or magic.
Well,
Or range.
Aggressive conservation.
Aggressive conservation. It's kind of the opposite of conservation, if I'm honest. It's more experimental archaeology. What will happen if I hit the skeleton with a mace? Oh, it falls apart. Who would have thought it?
Well, we need to test the hypothesis again and again.
And again, to make sure its validity as a scientific hypothesis and principle. Absolutely. Repetition is important. Kind of got a bit sidetracked there. But no, yeah, I mean, as I said, there's lots of things that the channel really does have a wide scope to a certain extent to fulfill a wide range of interests. Basically anything game related.
Did you want to do the Restless Ghost?
I think
sidetracked on my
maybe
way back from the cook's assistant.
Maybe save that. I don't know how. Been streaming now for almost 3 hours. It is a short quest, so it could be nice something. Yeah, let's finish off doing the Restless Ghost. Why not?
Time flies when you're not having to host the stream.
I mean, it's fun for me as well. Again, I'm still not used to being host. It's very weird.
Lumbridge.
Having to make things happen. How is Nelson doing? Are you actually still on RuneScape, or have you given up?
No, I came off and now because I wanted to do something quickly, and now it's not opening again. My computer. I'm not having any luck.
I'm in Lumbridge. I'm up the load stone.
That's fine. You can ask us more interesting questions.
Mm.
The one you asked earlier was a humdinger.
I try.
About games we've played recently which are archaeology related. I can open it up to a Q&A.
I suppose along those lines, what games have you played which you think could have had an interesting archaeological element but didn't?
Well, I guess.
Ooh. Actually, Kenton, can I just make a point about what we were talking about earlier? I wonder if the ones with proper quest markers with lines on the GUI are ones which are actually created by RuneScape rather than contributor created ones, because you get like people that make quests. Is that right?
There have been certain
That's the difference.
ones which, to a certain extent, yeah, or they're used to, sort of. I don't know how much that happens now or how much have changed, because a lot of quests have changed recently, because RuneScape recently entered its 6th age, and it changed a lot of existing quests as well. It's something I was talking about just a moment ago when you were fetching another drink, actually. There are lots of quests now that have also changed. The quest name is the same, but the actual quest is completely different.
Interesting.
A good example of that is Rune Mysteries, which is a quest which I did the other day, not on stream or not recorded, just when I was just figuring some stuff out about, you know, what has changed and stuff I could talk about. Rune Mysteries have changed.
Okay. Sorry, I'm at the start of the quest. So sorry.
Yeah, I'm just coming. I'm coming. I'm actually wondering how much this quest has changed.
What was your question, Nelson? Were there any games that didn't have...
That you played recently which didn't, but could have had an interesting archaeological element?
I seriously think, actually, the one that did have a paleontological element, which I was pleasantly surprised about, was Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah.
I think, you know, obviously there are elements of archaeology within Skyrim, especially in what's the city which is underground?
Markarth?
Sorry?
Markarth?
You mean Markarth?
Yes, where you've got the ruins as well, and you're exploring and they're sort of building and exploring the old ruins. Obviously, that's got a heavy archaeology bent with the museum and other bits and pieces going on there. They could have made more out in Skyrim, especially since he spent a lot of time going into old tombs and basically raiding them. So at least from, as far as a lot of people are concerned, that is what archaeology is.
How many tombs have you raided?
How many tombs have I raided? Well, if you include Skyrim, a lot. If you include in real life, none.
Oh.
Other games. Oh yes, it's a short quest. This is fine. Quite limited armor. Yeah, that's fine. That's a good question. That is a good question. I'm having to think now. Obviously, it would be nice if they made more out of the archaeology again in SWTOR as well, and the archaeology skill not to be just about essentially gathering powerful crystals to create more powerful crystals so you can kill people better.
I mean, the actual interaction with the lore in SWTOR seems to be entirely voluntarily and not really driven by the plot.
Yeah.
Which I think is a shame, because there's a lot of very rich lore, like we talked about on the stream, where they have like the tombs of all of these ridiculously powerful dark lords, like Ajanta Paul and
I mean,
Nagasada, that sort of thing, that you go in passing as part of a quest, but really you don't explore the impact that those dark lords have. Star Wars world.
Yeah, and I mean, they didn't even have to make them main storyline quests, even if they just made more sort of side quests that explore them. At least that would be something. I mean, because some people won't be interested in that, but you should make, as you say, most of the lore out of what you've got, and with Star Wars, obviously, yes, there's an absolutely, as you say, rich culture that they don't explore properly. And it's explored better, say, in Knights of the Old Republic, and it wouldn't be too difficult to take some of that and just convert it into stuff that you do in SWTOR.
Yeah.
But I think SWTOR misses that opportunity. The one thing I would say about C14, going back to C14, is, okay, it is a dating simulator. It's a dating simulator which takes a very unique premise of archaeology, and although there's a lot of stuff in archaeology in there which they don't actually gamify. So for a lot of people who aren't actually interested in archaeology, as it's basically just text dumps to put into more of the background of the actual story, which is sort of finding an interactive story. But again, with an interactive story, you're walking the path between the distinction we were talking about earlier between sort of interactive narrative and what people would consider a more conventional video game. So people play it for two slightly different reasons, and trying to accommodate both those two different ideas, they could have done a better job with that and put that more of a game aspect towards doing some of the archaeological concepts that they explore in C14.
I think the main reason why people probably play that game is because they're horny for archaeologists.
I mean, archaeologists are really hot. But yeah, I mean, partly. And yeah, I mean, it is an atomic dating simulator. There are people who specifically go out and they play dating simulators. That's their thing. So yeah, I mean, they're not going to be so interested in the archaeology, which is what I'm talking about. You know, in that respect, they should put it more in a game aspect, or have you doing a bit more than just scrolling through pages and pages of text. And for people who just want the dating simulator or the interactive story elements, there's the option actually to turn these the existing mini games off. So again, you could still make it optional to a certain extent.
Is there a way to turn the dating bit off and just do the archaeological research?
No, unfortunately not.
Oh.
Yeah, which is a shame. So yeah,
that's double standards, really.
It is a bit, isn't it? It is a bit. Obviously, people think they're going to be more interested in the dating simulator than the archaeology. It's like, well, know your audience if you're going to make a thing called C14. Which, for people who don't give reference out there, C14 stands for carbon-14 dating, which is obviously a dating method that is used a lot by archaeologists to determine the date for organic remains.
Ghost in the coffin south of Lumbridge Church. Where is...
That's basically what we walked through.
I mean, I'm back at the graveyard. I just can't find the coffin.
Let me come.
Oh, it's right. It's the right. Okay, the thing which is obviously a coffin. Okay, I was looking for something a little more discreet, I guess. Hi, restless ghost. Hello, ghost. How are you? Woo!
So we are doing this. As far as I can tell, Restless Ghost so far is basically the same as it's always been.
Wear the amulet. Okay.
You do need to wear the Ghost Speak amulet. That is.
Oh, hello, restless ghost. How are you? Not very good, actually. What's the problem? Did you just understand what I said?
Does he still look the same? He still vaguely looks the same as well, actually.
Well, this is incredible. I didn't
Hello,
expect
Ghost.
you to understand. Okay, I can understand you. But do you have any idea why you're doomed to be a ghost? Well, to be honest, I'm not sure. Getting sharp vibes from that statement. I think it's because I've lost my
Wow,
head.
the game is really lagging behind. The stream is really far behind.
Okay, so someone's stolen the skull.
Oh, that's because for some reason it was further up. Okay.
So I've got to go kill a warlock and get his skull back.
Yeah.
Alright. Where are we going to go for this?
Thank you for that free voice acting for the crest, by the way. That's good.
Sorry, I do talk out loud a lot because
And I can see you, but that's fine.
Where am I supposed to be going for this?
It's. I think you do.
That right. Okay, it's the mine within the quest area. I'm guessing right at the bottom of the graveyard there, the other side of the swamp. So it's over here. Oh no, I don't want to attack the giant rat.
So yeah. It's the mining spot basically directly south of Lumbridge and on
Where's
the coast.
skull? I came here wanting to stab a warlock, but there's not a warlock here either. Oh.
No, don't attack
right.
these guys. They're high level. They're goblins. They just randomly come around. Ooh, this has changed a little bit actually since I last did this quest.
It said something about needing to fight off level 7 skeletons.
Yeah, I should go and search for mining spot on the coast south of Lumbridge. So, where else could that be?
This looks like oh! Wait, there's some rocks up here.
Yeah, let's say,
I can highlight, in fact. I can search these rocks, and I've summoned a skeleton.
oh yes, there we go.
Skeleton warlock.
Yep, right by the
Just
coast.
absolutely got demolished both times that we fought it.
Yeah. I mean, we are slightly higher.
Muddy skull. Right.
I need to do that again because I technically just attacked yours. Oh,
Oh,
no,
sorry.
I already have a ghost skull.
It did spawn twice in
Yeah,
quick
did it?
succession.
No, yeah, I was confused because it doesn't always go straight into your inventory, but it did this time. It annoys me when some quests does that, when they, I believe it doesn't, it changes in the game between when it just randomly decides to put stuff in your inventory and when it puts on full. See, this is a game involving, dealing with bones and dealing with dead people. This is good.
Reassembling a skull. And we had to kill a skeleton monster for it, so aggressive archaeology.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aggressive conservation, sorry, I did the nonsense.
Anti-conservation, really, if we're honest.
Oh no, stop being a ghost. Okay, I need to
Release, thank you, stranger. As he flies off in a ghosty way. And we get to keep the ghost speak amulet as well.
is the Ghost Speak amulet ever useful again? I guess that's the big question.
Yes. Actually, oh, do we? Yes, we do. It is used in another, or used to be used in another quest.
Nice. I got a thing which isn't appearing in my inventory. A lamp.
A red lamp, yeah, it will give you some prayer experience if you click on it.
It's not appearing in my inventory.
Red lamp. Did you have enough inventory space?
Oh, it's fine.
Did it apply it automatically for you?
I don't know how to check that, but it's not a problem. I'm going to be creating a new character for the stream. But
Maybe in your bank.
Maybe in my bank. Yeah.
If it felt you didn't have enough space, because it gives you a load of bones as well.
Oh, okay. I did have like 5 inventory spaces, but maybe I didn't have enough space for
Yeah, that's possibly not enough space.
So it would have gone into my bank, would it?
I don't know. It may have done. I don't know the exact protocol.
It wasn't dropped on the ground, as far as I could tell.
For that, I can't remember. That's not something which has cropped up yet for me.
Better at inventory management than me.
Anyway, sorry. How about you, Nelson? What about you? Is there any games you've played recently you feel that could have had an archaeological aspect?
I mean, I think they've talked about it in some of the updates, but I think Minecraft has a huge potential because the amount you mine.
Yeah, they're bringing that in, aren't they? In one of the patches.
Yeah,
1.17.
As I said, I believe yeah.
So yeah, I did.
You can.
That came to mind strong.
Sorry, Giggles.
No, I was just gonna say you can dust away dirt and sand. I think to reveal potentially stuff, even diamond blocks.
Oh, they actually brought that in now, have they?
Oh well, it's coming.
It's
and
coming
I've
in the
seen
next
any
update.
snapshots
It's
of it
coming
yet.
and is not yet
Yeah.
arrived.
I'll have to keep an eye out for that when that does come, because it'll be interesting how they portray that.
Yeah. We are going to be having. I'm going to be creating a new server world
Groovy.
when 1.17
That happens.
drops.
No, yeah, that'll definitely be something interesting to investigate when they do that. It's always good to see how archaeology is portrayed in different games.
Yeah.
As I said, there will
Which
be a
obviously-
video next week on at least the beginnings of it in the beginning of the skill in RuneScape, going through the tutorial for that.
You are more than welcome to make. You will be more than welcome to make videos on my server if you wish.
Thank you.
Minecraft under that archaeology stuffs.
Again, I'll probably get round to playing WoW again at some point and talking about the archaeology within WoW, because it's...
I would quite like to play a panda. No, it's not in the bank either, but it's
A panda.
It may have applied it directly for you.
maybe. I don't get any bones out of it. So yeah, you can play a panda in
You can, a Pandaren, to be
Panda.
specific. And what a lot of people forget, it wasn't just invented for Mists of Pandaria. Pandarans have been in Warcraft since Warcraft 3. Although they basically did make every panda a Kung Fu Panda, kind of ripping a bit off Kung Fu Panda. But, you know.
It start off as a. Didn't it start off as a April Fool's thing?
No, people thought it was an April Fool's joke.
Oh,
But what people forget is that, you know, Blizzard have, you know, plot lines years in advance of when they actually release them. And and again, the plot, you know, they've only just, the current expansion is a plot that they've sort of had planned for like the past 14 years. So, was it Battle for Azeroth one? I can't quite remember. But it was either this current expansion or the last expansion they had planned and was eventually able to release. And of course, there's tons of games out there which have an archaeology feel to them. Of course, I need to do playthroughs of course, the Tomb Raider games, and of course the Indiana Jones games. I still need to get a way of recording my footage from my Atari 2600, so I
What
can.
probably do is work out a way of doing a pass-through recording.
Yeah, no,
through
I've well, no, actually, to fair,
card.
I've got a way to do it. It's just actually getting the bits to do it and testing it, and having the money.
Oh, okay.
Can get a composite module to help connect it to a modern TV, and then record the feed from the TV.
Yeah.
So as you say, basically a pass through. Yeah.
Yeah, we're using a pass-through game capture card. rather than
Game
one.
capture card onto the laptop, and record from the TV.
Yeah.
The feed of the TV whilst I play on the console itself. And of course, I've also got an Indiana Jones game for the Commodore. And that will basically the same solution will work for that as well. So it's just a matter of getting those, testing the reliability, and finding time and money to do that properly, which will hopefully be more easy soon. Especially if you know Jagex wanted to sponsor me. Or anyone else really. Especially coffee or beer companies, that would be really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And anything like that.
We like both here.
Mead.
Mead. Any form of alcohol, basically, especially mead, beer, gin, port, wine. Basically anything, you know, if you want to sponsor me.
Alcohol.
I won't say no. Well, I might say no within reason. It kind of depends what you actually want me to do.
Maybe we should just start our own meadery and then we can sponsor ourselves.
I'll tell you, I agreed with your. We should do that.
I'm not entirely sure it's sponsoring yourself if you. Yeah, never mind.
Watch our channel, and you can also watch us
Pay
do
for
mead.
advertising on our own YouTube channels through the revenue from the company.
Just sell
That's
the
what,
mead.
Jack did that.
It makes sense.
But you know, at some point I may create a subscriber space or Patreon.
No, I'd love
type
to
thing.
try out making mead at some point.
Now I'm just kind of doing a tour of Lumbridge by just randomly kicking around because I'm more actually interested in talking about
If
what the
my
channel's doing.
my
and-
Steam isn't playing balls, I think if I was gonna get back onto RuneScape, I'd have to shut down my computer and restart it, and I'm just like, I can't be bothered.
That sounds like too much hassle, yeah.
Yeah,
For this
I
time
know,
in
I'm
the
just
evening,
happy
anyway.
chatting about games. It's nice.
So, brief rundown on what we've achieved today. What we've mainly achieved is me running around RuneScape like a maniac.
I
had
completed.
You've completed most of the tutorial now, most of the basic tutorial.
Yeah.
So that's good. We can get. I mean, we can take some of the reading off you when we start doing quests and other stuff together. Only one of that. Well, you obviously need to accept and go through the, but you don't necessarily need to pay attention to what's being said, and we can all just do it together.
Yes.
That'd be fine. We started a very interesting conversation about what is a video game, what does a video game need, how can you define a video game, which we will continue properly at another event, but we may also talk about it between now and then. It's quite difficult though when you're playing quite an in-depth game like RuneScape, where you're trying to have to pay attention to what the heck's going on as well. Otherwise, you kind of run around RuneScape like I was doing, not really doing a massive amount.
I've got some stuff that I want to contribute from the. I don't know if this is cheating, and also I don't care. Some stuff that I want to contribute from this character to the guild.
Do you want to pass that over to me now?
Can do. I think most of what I've got on my chest is mostly stuff that we can just make.
To be fair,
but I've got
probably most of it I have
5,000
made.
gold.
So what you've got?
What 35,000 gold?
That's probably quite useful. I'll take that.
Withdraw. How do I give it to you?
Click trade on me. You'll send a trade request.
Archie.
Yeah, I'm standing there with
Make
two
sure that I'm
scimitars.
giving it to the right person. I don't accidentally want to give 35,000 gold to some random person.
And then I just need to accept trade.
Okay, so
Down there, down at the bottom, there'll be an offer gold amount.
how do I give all? So I don't remember how much I've got on me.
If you just click on offer gold, then it'll just say how much you want to offer. If you go to your bar inventory, you can open up your money pouch. So if you click on your... Or maybe it won't, and it should say at the bottom, it will say that backpack operation is not currently available, but it will tell you how much you've got just in the bottom corner there.
I'm waiting for you to accept it, apparently.
I've accepted. I've got the trade screen open.
No net trans. What? Oh, okay, it's gone through, has it?
What? No. But it's gone through for me. It's brought up the trade screen.
Wait. Okay, 35. Oh, there we go. Right.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Did it wrong.
That's fine. That's.
Is it going?
It's still saying waiting for other player to accept for me. Oh, hang a minute. Oh, you can only give 25,000 at a time, apparently, at the moment.
Okay.
It might be a member restriction thing.
I can give it to you in chunks.
Seems like a very weird...
Alright, now I can double check how much I've actually got.
Yeah. These seem like a pretty arbitrary amount to...
Examine money pouch. 10,283. Okay, where are you?
I'm here.
Right, remember 10,283.
10,283. 10,283.
10,283, thank you.
Oh, you can't actually give any more wealth at the moment. I don't...
Oh, can I? It's not giving me any messages.
Yeah, it's saying Kyliroo can only give away 0 coins worth of wealth at the moment. There might be a time lock on it for some really obscure reason.
Alright, fair enough.
I mean, we can always... Try again. You can always try it again on Saturday at some point.
Yeah.
Either prior or during the stream. And I'll accept, and I'll keep it safe. I'm just going to transfer that into my bank. Basically, my gold stash is the guild's gold stash. Because I'm kind. Or clans, sorry, they're clans. But I've got armour for everyone and assortment of weaponries. I've got bronze armour, which most of you will make at least some of anyway. And some sets of iron +1 and steel +1.
Yeah.
Armour. Got some magey armour, some rangy armour for people who want to be rangy.
I might be tanky archer. Because magic is a little bit complicated in this game for me.
I mean, yeah. I mean, start off as that, and then you can always then level magic as well.
I don't really understand how the runes work. It seems a little bit arbitrary.
Well, different. Basically, runes it's just different runes you need for different spells. So it's just different rune combinations for.
Fair enough.
So pretty much all combat spells basically require a air rune, and then if it's an element other than air, it needs air rune plus that other element. And then there's some other specific spells as well.
I need to redo the tutorial island again. I think that's the problem.
And then there's some slightly more specific ones, but most of those are member only. But yeah, that's only sort of there's like one member only under like level 60, and then the rest of them are before level 60. Pretty much all of them are apart from one, are all usable by free players. So, just a quick stream wrap up. Well, thanks for Kyliroo and Nelson and Giggles
No problem.
for coming on and chatting and having some interesting discussions about RuneScape, about projects and stuff we want to do with the channel. As I said, it's not just going to be purely video games. It will be board games, dice games, all kinds of different games. Not so much sporty games because, you know, we're mainly massive nerds and we don't do that kind of stuff.
No.
We like games where we can be inside and close to alcohol and snacks.
Or outside and close to alcohol. And
Or outside and close to
Yeah,
alcohol and snacks.
yeah.
There's,
I like
there's
being
nothing
outside.
wrong with playing board games whilst camping.
We love action role players, which are quite active.
We do live action roleplay, which is active, but not that sporty generally.
It's nerdy active.
It's nerd or geeky. It's geeky active, so we're fine with
Geeky
that.
active.
We're fine with that. So it's mainly board games, role-playing games, dice games, card games. You know, those kind of things we're going to be focused on. Predominantly, it probably will be video games, but there'll be a mixture of other stuff as well. I've got a board game coming hopefully in July, which was a Kickstarter one which I sponsored, which is about Vikings stuck in Maytow on Orkney, based off one of the sagas, the part of the Orkneyjar saga. It's basically a survival card game, so that's going to be fun to play. Survival card game, that's going to be good fun. So I'll feature that on the channel because that really sounds awesome.
Nice.
As I said, next week there'll be more RuneScape archaeology. I'm still doing my code stratigraphy stuff, still doing retro gaming stuff, still collecting retro gaming stuff, so there'll be more of that coming up soon as well. And again, you know, this stream has been good because it's allowed us to create some ideas for stuff we want to talk about. We've talked about podcast type stuff we want to do. We've talked a little bit about what we're going to do on Saturday for Kyliroo's stream. Do make sure you tune in for that. I will be probably streaming that as well, so I'll be streaming on Saturday from around about 11 o'clock onwards.
It's just a joint stream for anybody that wants to get some streaming time in on their channels. Obviously, might try and encourage Lockmines to stream as well if you intend to join us.
Get maximum coverage stream-wise. So it's all those kind of things coming up. I would say this stream has mainly been another sort of test stream for the most part. Bit of a relax, a bit of chill, a bit of trying to decide what we're actually going to do in RuneScape for Saturday anyway, and maybe some longer term stuff. So again, very much thank you for people who did join in. Thank you also for Sitter for his contributions in chat.
Absolutely.
Whilst we were discussing stuff.
Yes.
That was good. So yeah, thank you again. Remember, no eating people. Don't do that. It's bad.
No eating people, not no eating people.
Yeah, no eating, no cannibalism, and no licking
Oh.
people either, unless it's consensual. You know,
Consensual licking is okay.
Damn
it's
right.
not what this channel's about.
Nom, 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 nom.
So again, thank you very much for joining in, and joining again for where we'll be more exploring the wonderful world of archaeology and video games. Until next time, take care.
Enjoy.
Bye.
Can't remember what my hotkey is to stop streaming.